got fucking Doc Ock arms in front of our face. What do you mean, what's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Happy New Year to you, Greg.
Happy New Year to you. What's your New Year's resolution? Everybody, you two can go home. Me and Nick got it from here. Don't worry about
I got a banger for you, but here it wasn't until right now that I really kind of put this together. My New Year's resolution is to show just the littlest bit of ankle. Just the littlest bit of ankle to everyone out there.
At what point does it just become the shin, though?
I mean, that's for the nice people out there on patreon.com/KindaFunny to decipher.
We can go to Wiki Ankle.
Did you ever respond, Andy Cortez? Did you ever respond to my Mons tweet? Because I was so proud of that, and I don't think I ever saw a response from you.
I think I was with family, so no.
All right, fair enough.
And I also just didn't really understand it.
Because you were like, do you need help catching some Mons, as in Pokemons?
And also, it was a late tweet on your end.
Yeah, well,
meaning it was
you're in the
even
middle
later
of the
for me
night.
in Central Time.
Sure. Well, I mean, you can read. They come in a thread. Like you can see what I was responding.
Yeah, but I think I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna let this one live. I'm just gonna let this.
Olive Party in the Chat got it. Mon Pubis. He knows what I'm talking about.
I
over
saw
here.
that and I was just like, I don't
me?
really know what this is referring to.
Which part don't you?
Mon Pubis is what I was.
You know what a Mons Pubis is, right?
No, I have no idea what a Mons Pubis is.
We'll Google it one time. You know what I mean? See what's up.
Mom's
with it, you know
Pubis?
what I mean?
Is that what it's
Mons
Is it
Pubis.
possessive?
M-O-N-S.
No.
M-O-N-S.
No.
Pubis is a horrifying collection of letters.
It's yeah, for sure. You know, it's a medical terminology for not. It's like not the vagina, but above that.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Above that, but below
Jesus,
the.
God.
See what I mean? The below
pelvic
the belly
mound?
button. Yeah, the pelvic mound. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Oh, the Mons Pubis.
And so when I was like, I'm playing the Pokemon. I'm having a lot of great times with the Pokemon. Andy was like, I can help you catch some Mons, and I'm like, there's only one Mons I care about, Mons Pubis, and that's a great tweet. There it is. See, need any cool Mons?
I
Just
think what
one.
threw me
How the
off-
Mons Pubis became the new thigh gap. This is the Sydney Morning Herald. They're doing the real journalism over there.
Oh, the articles from our birthday are updated on February 16th, 2015. I think what threw me off about it is I sent that tweet at 11:15 p.m., which was maybe, if you scroll down, Barrett, I'm not sure when Greg sent it, but it did seem like a while after.
Here, hold on. You click
That's
on
what
there you go. I sent it at 12:38 a.m.
Okay, so it was about an hour. and
That was a
half-ish.
late tweet. I'm sorry. Do I have to turn my alerts on for you to have a conversation with you, the man who claims to be my best friend?
I guess it was just like really, really late for me at that time.
That's true. That's what,
and then-
2 a.m., 2:30 for you?
And I happened to see the first image I see is the word thigh gap, and I thought this isn't really worth responding to. All I asked was, "Oh, do you want some Pokemon?" Because you're
But it's
playing
one of those things,
Pokemon.
like, I see people all the time on the internet fall all over these morons for their clever word game. That's a dynamite word game right there.
I don't know if it is because nobody
Mons!
knows what it is.
Mons Pubis.
How can you make it any
I
more
just taught
clear,
you all
Andy?
about the Mons Pubis. You know what I mean?
What's the second evolution of the Mons?
I mean, I just want to point out that I just had a 40-year-old man show me his phone. There was a medical diagram of a body.
Drawing.
Point to the little X that represents the anus and giggle. Useless.
I saw the anus.
okay.
Yeah,
I'll
just
send
send
it
it
to you
around. No
real quick.
context.
Yeah,
Just slack it to everybody. Don't worry.
Good Lord. Good
I already
Lord.
I said your name and I said the whole thing. So but I can
Hey,
do that. You want the rest of it? You want like
No,
the
I'm
whole
okay,
Hispanic
I'm
Cartel
okay.
of Texas?
I would like to add on to it actually. Is it rootin' tootin' 3-point shooting?
Ooh,
Race winning.
He's trying to
All
take
right.
back the rootin' tootin' thing. He's like, oh, you're
Hispanic
starting to make this
Cartel
a
of Texas
problem.
I'm
Street
making my
Latino
own.
Heat, clicking heads and ripping them to shreds. The globe trotting, head shotting, rootin' tootin', 3-point shooting. Oh, I do like it.
Yeah.
Nitro Rifle from
That's a lot.
Twitch.tv. Andy Cortez.
That's a resume and a cover letter. Like,
Because rootin' tootin' was a call. There was no response to it. You know?
Yeah.
Globetrotting, headshotting, right? There was
Rootin'
always
tootin',
like there was a
3-point
little
shooting.
answer. Yeah.
That does work. That's
Yeah,
really
I'm at
good.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
good.
I'm at that point with this Slack where I was like, do I start a new Slack thread
Oh.
to find Andy's name, or do I just send it to whatever one Andy's already on, which happens to be him and Snowbike Mike?
I mean, you know.
Well, the answer
You
is that
know?
one. Okay, here we go.
And rounding out the quartet, ladies and gentlemen, he's Forbes 30 under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the verified one at Tim Geddes.
I get emails from Forbes that I'm sure Blessing gets now too, that these motherfuckers, they're just trying to scam the hell out of you. Like, oh, you're a 30 under 30 lister. You get to buy this exclusive merch. And it's the most expensive shit ever. And I'm like, first off, who the fuck would walk around wearing like this Forbes shit? I mean, I would, but not for fucking
what does it work? What is it?
$100. Like,
What does it say? Like
it's, I mean, it's just horribly
30.
designed. Like, it's like the most generic. You looks like you're buying it at Fisherman's Wharf, like tourist shit. But it'll just be like Forbes lister or something. Like it's as bad as you can.
That
We
sounds
can
like
make
something Mike would wear.
We can make our own.
We could. We
And
could.
sell it to Forbes 30 under 30 people.
Yeah.
Well,
Make it look
eventually-
cool. Be like, hey, do you want that merch or do you want the cool looking Forbes merch? And they'd
We-
say,
can we-
why don't we just make our own?
Yeah.
They won't do it. They won't do it. What if we also did it for Future Class, for Game Awards? But we don't put Game Awards anywhere on it. It's just Future Class. You know what I mean?
Oh, I like that.
Jeff
Maybe
Keighley doesn't want
and then like
to
a-
sell shirts to people he's giving accolades to. We
like a
will.
PlayStation controller next to it or something.
Sure, yeah, whatever.
Be
Put
Like,
any
and
products to it.
maybe it's gaming related. I don't
Maybe.
know. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
sitting
yeah,
there.
yeah. Exactly. Whatever. It's just how it is. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Probably that last week of work before we went on the 2-week hiatus, I ran out of hairspray and I still haven't bought any more, and I hate it.
I have hairspray
Where?
in my desk.
Don't
I
get
thought
it
you were
from
just
me.
going for like a
Judge me up,
more
man.
subdued flat look now.
No, I don't want to look flat. Andy complimented me so much on how good I looked when I started doing
Bald.
the hair.
You wanna
up.
get zhuzhed?
Now I will say
Yeah,
that
zhuzh me up.
over the break, there were pictures of you where you were sort of like waking up. It was like Christmas stuff.
Sure.
And you get that like Kramer level dad hair,
Yeah.
and it's so cool looking.
Thank you.
Like it flips like this, and it's like it reminds me a lot of. Stick with me because this is a stretch for you. Egon's hair in that Ghostbusters cartoon
Sure,
that people no one really watched.
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
It looks like
Ghostbusters
that.
is
You know,
very
it's like,
successful.
You know, like that.
Maurice LaMartian.
Very cool. Maurice
LaMarche.
the Mon.
I have
you know
a-
what I mean?
I have a little hair update for you guys that I don't think I've told you about. I hinted at it on a podcast a while back.
Growing it out.
But no, well, I need a haircut. But
Well,
about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer than that at this point, went to the homie Yusuf's house and met a whole bunch of cool people, including this guy named Steven, who is a game writer. Nice guy.
Steven.
Cool dude.
What's Steven's last name?
Spielberg?
Rhodes?
No, okay, not Steven. I was
Steven
thinking.
Rhodes, I think. Anyways, super cool guy. And I looked at his hair and I'm like, you got some dope ass hair. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but he had that Pidgeotto look that I've always been trying to get. And I was like, what's going on? Like, how do you do this? Because I've used the same hair product for years. And he's like, I learned the secret from Zach Ryan. And I'm like, Zach Ryan
Zach Ryan's
has
hair is
fucking
on
amazing
point.
hair. He's like, he doesn't use hair gel or pomade or whatever. Straight up lotion. You just put lotion in your hair.
No, I don't like that. I don't
So
like
he
that.
I've been doing it for
so
6 months.
lotion to thicken.
It's great.
Is it?
You've been doing it for
Fantastic.
this.
6
Just,
months.
this is just lotion in your hair.
Lotion.
Do you?
Hold on,
It's
Andy's
perfect.
judging me. Andy's
And you've
judging
never used a pomade before, right? Like something
I
that
use pomade.
thickens it up. Okay.
I used to use pomade for a long time.
So now you're just doing it lotion.
Switch to the lotion and it makes it so much better. It's like nicer to just deal with. Like even like rubbing my fingers through it, it feels nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty damn happy with it, y'all.
Oh, I
Pro
thought Andy
tip.
was gonna do me next.
And then if you like go on a trip or something and you forget your hair product, you're not alone.
Here's my thing with the lotion, though.
Mhm.
I feel like that's putting me in dandruff territory. No, because won't the lotion just harden my hair and then fall out and it looks like I have dandruff?
And people go, you're jerking off when you're doing
I don't know.
I don't know. They won't see the dandruff and think it was jerking off lotion. They'll just think I have dandruff, Andy.
I don't think the dandruff. I wear a lot of black. That hasn't been a problem. Pomeranians are a problem.
Yeah, palms are definitely
you,
a problem.
your back is all fucked up.
Oh yeah, it's a whole.
It looks
thing,
like
man.
it looks like you flatten out the dog and it's just been riding your back. For a
Yeah,
while.
it's so weird. Moose, he's the big fluffy guy. He doesn't.
Gets you
It's
nothing, huh?
there's nothing. Toretto, little tiny dude,
Yeah.
motherfucker. I swear to God, leaves his own body size and hair around the house every day, and then it ends up on me.
I'm so jealous.
The other thing is, I don't know what they did over break to the cameras, what Kevin and Barrett did. I know they do a lot of stuff. They do great work in here. But they added some kind of filter that makes my head shinier. Because I had a burrito today, and I shouldn't be this shiny, though. That's oily.
You had a
That's
burrito?
Oil. Yeah, I had a burrito.
Let me see my. Can you cut to me?
That's cool,
I
but like
missed it.
I didn't know that affected your shine.
I knew it. I knew it. I fucking knew you were going to do that. God.
Nah, sometimes you're just like that, Greggy.
Oh, wow.
Am I?
And it's weird too because like you and Tim are the whitest people
Yeah.
on
I can
cameras,
get you some of those little strips.
but
I've
you're,
never.
you're
It's never been an
different
issue till right now.
I'm
You're
pink.
different types of white, yeah.
pink
And
shirt.
so it's like weird to try to balance you two, like when you're both on like a games daily, you know.
Yeah, we also have the cameras balanced a little bit to take some of the redness out because we had some redness issues with the old cameras. We're not going to point fingers. We're not looking at people.
No. Me and Tim are looking at each other.
Do we
There's
all
a
hear
low
this?
rumble in the sky, and I'm often waiting for the alien invasion and/or the avalanche or the whatever's going to kill us one day. Just rapture.
Yeah.
And so it's always that moment of like, I would love for it to happen on a live stream.
Well, dude, that
Nick
sound
just disappears.
growing up my whole life in San Francisco, like
Yeah,
I've had my fair
earthquake.
share of earthquakes. That sound is the like
89.
the,
big one.
the precursor. You hear that, and it's like almost like the domino effect of the
Pre-cum.
earthquakes coming to you.
Sure.
But I guess we're not coming here, so it's okay.
But Jen signed up for this app or whatever that I don't know, University of Berkeley, somebody's doing or whatever with the precognition, like, yo, there's about to be an earthquake shit or whatever.
Okay.
And she signed up after one of the bigger ones months ago. We forgot all about it. And we were in bed over break. Yeah. Like 2 a.m. But like, we've never heard the alarm go off. We've never actually heard. And it just was like, earthquake imminent, take cover. We're like, what the fuck? And then it stops and there's no earthquake. And so we were just like, this is more terrifying than being woken up by the earthquake. Because then it was like 30 seconds of like, is it coming? Is it happening? Do we what? And then it was a minute of I guess it's over.
Any
and then
second now.
Jen finally looked at her phone. She's like, oh, it was way north. It was up in Humboldt County. Like it wasn't us, but it was like, you know what I mean?
That was a big one.
It
too,
was
'cause
a big one. It was a big one.
My grandma called me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Where was the
Those ones always
earthquake?"
crack me up. My mom
Dude,
does that
no,
too. Like,
man.
oh
Like,
my
you-
gosh, did you feel the earthquake? I'm like, no, where was
Are you talking like a couple days into our break?
Yeah, somewhere over the last
Oh
2
man,
weeks.
no, I felt that motherfucker. That
No.
one was
The Humboldt one was way too far away for us. to feel.
there was one like
You
near
lying piece of
Berkeley-ish, Oakland-ish that happened like at maybe 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And was like one of the stronger ones that
It
I
woke me
felt
up.
living here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like my
One of them,
room
though.
was a rocking, dude. And the neighbors were not downstairs banging.
Your
Damn.
room
You
wasn't
didn't go
knocking,
knocking?
and we didn't come knocking. You know?
No.
Ignacio Rojas has the dumbest hill to die on. You don't have real earthquakes over there. Our earthquakes would eat your earthquakes. Take the hint from God, Ignacio, all right? He's trying to shake you out of being a shitty
Yeah.
person, but here you are just spewing more fucking shit. And I got to put up with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I'm not going to feel sad next time you get knocked down by an earthquake.
Wow.
You're out there riding your little skateboard, Ignacio Rojas, and it shakes and you fall over. It's not on me.
You fall into the big
Classic Ignacio, just him out there on the skateboard.
I'm sick of this kid ollieing and double ollieing.
Oh, yeah,
it's
good old
driving me
double
crazy.
ollie.
Good old triple ollie.
He's got them
You know?
heel kicks and shit. Fuck him.
Our tragedies are worse than your tragedies. What's up, y'all? I wanted to
Well,
talk
this is the
about
Kind of Funny
doing over there?
podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table.
so fun.
We have to work on this one. We
Yeah.
have to work on that one. Each coming to hang out with each other about whatever it is they want to hang out about. If you want to hang out with us, why not go to patreon.com/kindafunny? Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you could tell us our tragedies aren't as bad as yours, like Ignacio Rojas, who's watching live on patreon.com/kindafunny. Of course, over there, you get each and every episode of the podcast ad-free. And you could get 38 bonus episodes of content only on Patreon, including daily Gregways. That's right, they're daily again. And a whole bunch of other stuff. And have a great time and support the show and get the physical items and get the posters and get the things and do all the stuff that only patreon.com/kindafunny could do. However, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. YouTube.com/kindafunny and podcast services around the globe each and every week for a brand spanking new episode of your 4 best friends hanging out. Housekeeping for you, we are celebrating 8 years of Kind of Funny this week. Of course, we kind of went big with the spare bedroom just a couple months ago. So we're keeping it a little bit more low key. And on Friday, we're doing an all day stream, right? That's the deal. We're hanging out.
doing all day hanging out,
Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. Come hang out with us and have a
Playing
great
some
time.
games. Maybe the wheel spins will be back. Maybe they won't. We'll see. We'll see who gets kissed.
Ooh.
I'll get shocked by getting kissed.
Oh.
If that wasn't enough for you, it's time for Kind of Funny to declare its Game of the Year 2022.
Can't wait.
And this year we're doing it in a very cool, different way. Monday, January 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and podcast. No, that's not right. youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We will be live with me, Tim, Andy, Mike, Paris, Blessing, Janet.
Barrett.
Bear's running it.
Barrett's
right?
running it, yeah.
Bear's running it.
I'll still chime in. every
Kevin's
once in a while.
also helping to run.
Yeah.
It's a big day.
It's a huge day for a giant live episode of the Gamescast as we go through and do our usual top 10 games of the year leading up to Kind of Funny's Game of the Year. Same as always, we all put in our weighted top 10 lists. We don't know who won. We don't know what's happening. We'll find out what happens from there and have a great
But
time.
just to be clear here, Janet and Paris will be here.
Yeah, they're here.
They're here.
We're dragging
out
them
on
up
the
here.
wall. They're going to be
No.
in the room at the desk. Whole bunch of cool stuff early next week when it comes to PS I Love You, XCast, Games Daily. You're going to be seeing a lot of Janet and Paris.
We're
Will?
making the wall larger.
No, it's
Getting
pretty
a
big. I think it's
longer
as big
desk.
as it goes. Yeah, no, it's as big as it goes.
At this point, I'm hoping the roof does not cave in. That'll be good. If we get through that week without the roof caving in or the ants eating us, I think it's going to be okay.
Or I propose last minute change. A little double decker seating.
Mm-hmm.
We have one desk.
Oh, nice.
Put another desk on top.
Oh.
We almost like Hollywood Squares.
Are you a top bunk or bottom
I've
bunk
always
guy?
wanted
I'd be
to do
top
that.
bunk.
Yeah.
top
Hollywood Squares?
bunk.
Oh,
Gonna
yeah.
be up there.
You know what I mean? Where
I
have to
fell off
climb
the
up.
top
How
bunk
did you
one
get there?
time. Really hard. Like I'm talking like elementary school kid. it's the bunk beds. My brother would sleep on the bottom. And then
your brother white boogers on him, and then you stepped in him coming down. There's always a big fear of mine with bunk beds.
Excuse me? He's a father.
Yeah,
He's a child.
There was no context in that can make sense to me.
I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think when I went to college, like the bunk bed we had, like it was like, oh, somebody, not my room.
But I mean, where are they putting the book? Like I can imagine
on, like,
on
the rail, on the rail of like
So
the
you
thing.
touch
So what
it,
you
the
were
boogers.
going up.
Jesus Christ.
so, and then you'd be scared of slipping out like it's Vaseline
No, just
or
because it's
something?
gross. I don't want to touch boogers.
Oh, so it wouldn't be
Good point.
causing the less.
Oh no, I'm not gonna fall.
There wouldn't be less friction.
The floor is
because-
afraid of me, not the other way
Okay.
around. Don't worry about that.
All right. No, yeah. One time I was on the top floor or top bunk, and then there was like maybe a foot ish, maybe 2 feet width in between the bunk beds and like dresser drawers, and on top of the dresser drawers, I was putting like a toy up there. So I was reaching over because at night I have all my fucking toys, and we were doing wrestling.
yeah.
We were doing like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
who's battling for the championship belt or whatever. And I reached over to get something, and I just fucking ate it, and I fell in between the
Ooh.
bunk beds and the dresser drawers, and I'm just like like rumbling on the way
my
down.
God.
It was loud and it was violent, dude. That shit was awful.
That's the kind of shit
sucked.
that if you did now, it would take
Oh,
years to
yeah.
recover from.
Oh yeah.
Not months, like you would never be the same.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're
Yeah, my head was like
like,
bumbling all like fucking plinko, going down.
Yeah.
It was really, really
Goddamn.
bad.
Did y'all have roommates in college? Like, or did you get a forced like stranger roommate? Yeah. You,
No, I didn't have a four stranger. My buddy signed us. I think I told this story a long time ago, but I stayed in the dorms my freshman year.
by yourself. Then?
No, my buddy Ryan, who
Yeah.
he's the guy that got me the job at IGN.
Okay.
We've been friends since like junior high, and he was like, "Dude, do you want to dorm together?" I was like, "Absolutely." He goes, "Cool." And then I wasn't as anal or attentive about stuff as I am now. Because
Sure.
looking back, I'd be like, "Oh my god, current Nick would freak the fuck
Do
out."
you
if he
think
did
that's
this.
why you are the way you
Things
are?
like this? I think added to that. But he was like, "Hey, I signed us up for the dorms. Don't worry about it." I was like, "Cool."
Oh,
Not realizing there was a
no.
difference between dorms. Like, who would even think? You don't have context for that. And he goes, "Don't worry, dude. I got us. I signed us up for the academic dorms so we could have plenty of time to study and no one was going
Okay,
to party."
what a
Meanwhile,
dork.
my other friend lived in the theater dorms, and I was like, it was like the
They
difference
were
between
fucking and sucking.
it's like working at IBM in the 70s and then going to fucking Woodstock. It was just like chaos over there. Everyone was like partying. They're like, "This is the best school ever." Meanwhile, you'd come back to my dorm and it was like crickets at night. It was the fucking worst. I
That
hate
sounds. Oh, that sounds kind of awesome, actually.
Well, not like looking back on it now, once you say that, I'm like, 43-year-old soon to be Nick
would love that.
would fucking love that. And it's also bonkers to me that I could sleep in the same room as another human being for a whole year and have zero problems with that. Because now I'd be like, I can't do it.
that
You'd be
is
too
crazy to think about. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. And then all throughout college, the rest of the time, I had roommates as well.
I visited a Nick's girlfriend at her dorm when she lived in the same dorm as.
Lady
Like,
Gaga.
it was a shared room sort
Mhm.
of situation, like 2 beds in one.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
that's what I.
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I-
Yeah, and then like the shared restrooms as well. Very awkward. All of it very,
yeah.
very awkward.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand the situation, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sleep in the bed with you, my girlfriend, but
Someone
there's
else
another
over there.
lady right
Ah.
there. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
it's very, very awkward. Yeah.
The only bunk bed situation I've ever been in.
Wait, did you get it on though with the woman with the not the new woman, but your girlfriend
Yeah.
with the woman in the room?
In the room, yeah.
also,
Yeah,
when's the last
yeah,
time you
yeah,
thought
yeah.
about the
I was
phrase,
on my
"Get
way.
it on"?
I was on my way to asking the question if you ever jerk off in these college dorms room with the other guy over there. Not like looking
No.
at you. Not
No,
like I'm
never.
not. He's not a
Trying
participant.
to secretly do it.
Exactly, because I remember jerking off on the top bunk with my
Good Lord.
stranger roommate below me. You know
Good
what I mean?
Lord.
He would sleep.
Like, how do I cover up the noise? Like, just coughing the whole time.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Holy shit! This is not how I wanted to start
Welcome back,
this year,
everyone.
everybody.
I hope the fidelity of these new podcast mics is spot on.
Oh my god!
I need distractions throwing change on the ground. Trying to cover up the noise.
Holy crap! Good lord!
No, man, you did not do that. You did not do that. You found either moments with their schedule where they were away, or
Yeah.
you just went into the bathroom and did it.
No,
Usually,
sure,
like
sure,
bathroom
sure.
stalls. But it was I wasn't in a co-ed.
See the bathroom stuff.
My other friend that lived in the other dorms, because Irvine has 2. They had Middle Earth and I forget what the.
Are these
Wait,
the
they
roommates
called it
though?
Middle Earth? That's cool.
Literally, Irvine. Oh, you would have loved it, Andy. It was called Middle Earth, and he was in the Shire.
That's so sick.
It was like every dorm building was named after something from
That's
Tolkien.
so
Mine was like it's called Mesa Court, I think. So it was all just Spanish
fucking
names.
boring, dude.
It was pretty boring, but I had no idea. I hadn't read Lord of the Rings, so I was like, what a weird thing to call something. But they had
Hilarious.
co-ed bathrooms.
Yeah.
So it was like the dorms were all mixed up. And so you'd be like,
style bathrooms.
yeah, but it was weird. Because
Oh, yeah.
the first time you go take a dump, you're
Yeah.
like, you hear like a female voice walk in, you're like, "Ugh," and everything just kind of tightens up. You're like, well, now I'm here until.
Oh,
Here
I
for the
just
long
didn't
run.
care. I just kept going.
I can't-
We did not have co-ed dorm. Well, I did not live in a co-ed dorm. Because maybe the upper floors were. I was on an all men floor.
We had wings. It was like all the wings were like all men, and then like the other wing was women.
I think it was broken up by floors, but it doesn't matter for the story. We were an all boys floor or whatever, and we had the big bathroom with 1 million bathroom stalls and 1 million showers or whatever. And I remember one dude's girlfriend and friend were staying a whole week or whatever, and we had partied with them and they were cool or whatever. But like, I wasn't like close to this guy. Like you see him in passing, they're there.
You
Hey,
weren't
what's
jerking
up?
off in front of him.
No, no. I respected this person. I wouldn't jerk off 4 feet above
Bombs away.
on my Superman comforter. Anyways,
Hey, Greg, you know the elevation rule. You got to be above me to do it.
Anyways, I was taking a dump one time in the bathroom all by myself, like just having a little bit of peace and quiet. And sure as shit, her and a friend walked in there, and she shows like the stall next to me, and I was like, I was here first. You know what I mean? There was something there. She's like, "Oh my god, it smells terrible in here." I'm like, "Well, I'm taking a shit," and the other friend just left the bathroom. She was like, "This is an awkward situation," but I didn't care.
Yeah,
I had blue hair. I'll do what I want.
Good for you. Good for you, Greg.
It's wild how much more or how much less comfortable I'd be with situations like that now as I was back then. But even back then, I felt nervous as hell when I wanted to go to the restroom. Like, I don't want to see somebody that I don't know and just be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like, even if I'm just brushing my teeth, that just
Sure.
feels like an awkward interaction
with
I
you.
want no part of.
I used to feel that way about IGN because it would be like, I mean, there were so many people on that floor. Remember, IGN only had like 3 stalls,
Yeah.
and so you'd go in there and I'd be like, dude, people know. I mean, they know what shoes I'm wearing. Is this going to be an issue? I would just look down and be like, there's too many people in here. I'm not going to do it. Just hold it.
Well,
Or go
we used
across
to,
the
remember when we had multiple floors? There'd be you go down to this floor 2 or whatever.
There was that. You'd go up to like the executive floor and you'd be like, oh, they have the nice toilet paper up there.
Well, I just
Remember-
remember get away from the crowds.
But Brisbane used to have those standalone like
Oh yeah, with the shower.
ADA bathrooms with the
Yeah,
shower.
yeah.
And there would be always the weird time where you're like, who took a shower?
Charles on yet? Remember he would bike. He would
That's
bike
right,
to work and
that's
then he would
right.
shower. Yeah.
You would
Charlie.
shower at work.
Yeah. It's the height of luxury. Yeah.
That
You'd get
sounds
to work a little swety. Like, I'm gonna take a little shower real quick.
You tell me. I mean, I know there was a brief moment where we considered it here. I forget why we backed out of it because maybe it's just want to get used that much. But I'd be using it.
the city was like, you can't do that.
Oh really?
Yeah. We were gonna put a shower in the smaller bathroom. And they were like, well, first we talked about doing it in the bigger bathroom. They're like, no, that has to be ADA compliant. So you can't do anything that's not like that. You need a lot more space. But then the smaller one, we're like, oh, what if we do this? And the city was like, nah, we put the kibosh on that. Because at first, I think they had a shower knob in there, but it was just like there.
Connected to nothing.
No, it was connected, but it was either this bathroom or another one, but it was either, I'm pretty sure there was just a shower and then there was a drain and then a toilet and a sink. And it was like, well, if you turn that on, isn't it just going to splash everywhere? But I guess nobody cares.
Yeah, it's that I'm in a weird spot right now with balancing my work life and my home life, where the shower is a constantly moving piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I am a morning shower.
Love
My mornings don't have as much time. You can ask Barrett, who gets the text from me every so often of like, I'm going to be 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. I'll just be there when I'm there. Take an Uber. Like the shower moves around with the baby schedule, now with the puppy schedule, with the wife schedule. And so I should be showering at night, but I hate showering at night. Because at night, I cross the finish line. It's finally me time, all right? I go look for a bunk bed to
Get
jerk
up on the top
off.
of my bunk bed and just start
But I
spraying
wanna
and
play
praying.
some games. I want
What's up, Tim?
Last
How's the
thing I wanna
lotion in your
do-
hair?
I don't want to. Gee, I got more. I got Tim that special lotion. he likes.
Tim, here's the jerk.
Oh God! God damn!
But
So-
I don't want to waste then at the end of it 30 minutes to go shower or whatever, and that includes like brush your teeth,
showers.
put hairs in. I hate it. Haircuts, showers. What
He
a fucking
haircuts.
waste of time.
He loves them.
Cutting your
I
nails.
think that's weird.
Come on.
Haircuts or showers?
Haircut.
Cutting your nails.
love
How is that
haircuts.
even?
It's a waste of my time. I don't want to do it. Jesus, if you're
takes 1
listening,
minute.
Jesus, if you're listening, go have a question and answer session with your father or what he was thinking about this stuff. You know what I mean?
You know what's really
Cut
weird?
my nails. Why? And also poop. Why can't I just poop a cube?
Why can't I just poop a
Why
cube?
is it just my body compresses it perfectly and I'm done? I gotta go in there. Is this gonna be a log? Is it gonna be a shotgun? Nobody knows.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I love just the lottery system that is pooping. Right? You don't know what it's gonna be. It's exciting every time.
Clipping nails is a very, very different ballpark than getting a haircut
or even a shower.
or
Like-
taking a shower. Yeah.
Clipping nails, you don't waste nearly as much time, but it's still like, oh, I gotta do this.
Now I will say,
And the other thing too is,
toenails.
where's everybody clipping their fucking
Kind
nails?
of feel.
What are you
'cause, like,
doing?
Bathroom.
This is easy,
But
but
wait.
having a lot is.
I'll tell you, I clip my nails
In the
and
sink?
I clip them. No, not into the sink. Either. Well, sometimes into the sink or onto the
Little countertop.
countertop, and then I get them all together, and then I wipe them up with a little
I
thing.
hate it
and
when
I
they,
flush.
you're cutting, bing, when it
Yeah.
shoots
Yeah,
off, and I'm
it
like, well,
shoots
now I'm
off,
gonna see
yeah.
I
that.
gotta go
That's a
after
great
once.
one.
I gotta go find it.
No,
I can only do it
won't
on a
find
bunk
it.
bed. Let them fall with it.
Yeah.
You know what's a weird thing with cutting nails in our household is I forget which culture from Alyssa where it's like disrespectful for I don't know, like elders or something to cut your nails at night. So whenever I try to cut my nails at night, Alyssa always gives me grief because I forget if it's part
The
of
volume?
her Hawaiian culture
Oh.
or something like that, where it's like disrespectful for elderly people or something like that, or I don't know. But that's
So are you elderly in this?
no, but it's like it's disrespecting.
She was
like,
raised just not
our
to, you
yeah,
know.
like our.
Oh,
She
God.
won't
elders
do it. She
and
won't do
stuff
it at
like
night.
that.
I mean, I get that.
I
'cause
kind of
it's an
just
annoying
just
sound.
do them wherever. Let the chips fall where they may.
Jesus Christ, that's why I find them everywhere.
Every time I'm getting ready to do it, I'm like, you know what I should do? Just go outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some fucking beetle that wants these. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
That would help me out. Then I
You're right,
don't
yeah.
got to worry about them shooting any direction. Whatever, shoot. Have
No,
fun.
because the only ones that aren't shooting directions are when I'm doing my toenails. Those are the ones that like I have to be very strategic with because I had ingrown toenails when I was in high school.
Mhm.
Like I got to be very, very careful with where I'm going, and now I've got a system. I've had a system for the last 15 years or so, to where I'm like, all right, I got to cut in here and then dig out or whatever. But those aren't shooting anywhere. The ones that are shooting places are like probably my fingernail ones that I.
You got good cuticles.
Thank you.
We've just said the word shooting a
That on
lot on this podcast.
Just
No.
I fucking hate it. Shooting, and Nick just gives me this little fucking glance.
Because I saw interesting you bring that up. I saw a TikTok about cuticles.
Yeah.
Where
I have terrible ones, and I never would have thought about them. My wife
where-
calls me out on them all the time.
when you what because here's the thing, I always thought a cuticle was a fucking hangnail,
Oh.
and then I like saw what a cuticle actually is. I was like, oh, that's a cuticle where somebody had gotten a really, really bad
Bacterial infection or
infection.
fungal infection.
yeah, an infection where what's it called, where you're taking away the cuticle by kind of like shaving it off or kind of pushing it
Yeah,
in,
they
but
push it in.
but they like go super underneath the
Mhm.
skin, and then they went way too far with it.
Yeah.
And they ended up like cutting a part of it that ended up just their finger looked ballooned up. It was really, really gross.
I don't
but
like that.
but oh my gosh, let me tell you, the imagery was similar to how I get grossed out when somebody's like fucking with their eyeballs or like doing like a contact lens. Like Tim, when I tell you that there was like, it seemed like several millimeters of space in between the skin
Jesus
and the
Christ.
nail
Ugh.
that people are doing a procedure with though. Like they're like doing a manicure thing.
You don't need that.
And it looks so gross.
Mm-mm.
It looks so gross.
like that.
But thank you for the compliment. I
No
appreciate
problem.
That is the
yeah.
one thing that I cannot get into. Like I've had my nails done. I've gone to the pedicurist, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of the clipping. I always think they're gonna clip it too
Yeah,
close to
yeah.
the cuticle or the actual like skin itself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have that feeling where it's like kind of I don't like
It's one of those like you don't know my body like I do. I like this may be normal to other clients. Like this is I don't want you to fuck with that part of this nail. Like I do have a little special
relationship
thing
with
that I
that
do.
part of your nail.
I have a special strategy that I
get it.
take with all my nails.
Do you ever use a little tool that you
Yeah.
pull out a little hook on it?
I
you
use-
get in there.
I
Put
use
your
the
hand-
hook thing a lot for my toenails sometimes.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I'll just go into the little skin, bloop, kind of like pop it out, and then go,
Yeah, you gotta
Clip it
get
in.
those.
because if you remember, I had a real bad. That's how the ingrown toenail problem started when we were running our weekly 3-mile run during baseball practice, and I ran it all on an ingrown toenail, and I got
Oof.
back, and my
Oof.
white
Don't.
sock was suddenly yellow and,
Oh.
red and purple.
Yeah.
I hate this episode, everybody, so much.
Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you for not hating in our Patreon producers, Jake Holmes, Nathan Lamoth, Monica Boomerang. What is it?
Boomerlog?
Boomerlog. Monica, you got a great last name. DJ Kento on Twitch, Trent Berry, James Hastings, Colin Huguenel, and Casey Andrew. Today we're brought to you by Honey, but we'll talk about that later.
There was a noticeable name missing there that I wanted to make a cover song of.
Just do it now, maybe. Here's the thing. Andy's going to make a cover song of it right now. This name. And that means no matter what, you got to be a Patreon producer next month. And if you're not, Ignacio Rojas has cursed you with an earthquake.
Wow. First the Chilean.
I also wanted to talk about. Do you want me to talk about the cover song first?
Yeah.
It
Why would you also
it was
talk
Nine Inch Nails Hurt, but it was gonna be Bert and Bert and Meg.
Sure.
I want to Burt you like an animal.
No, it's not that. You can't just insert any song.
Well, what are you gonna do?
So I was thinking about it last night, and it was, I will let you down, I will make you hurt, but it was like, your last name is Meg, your first name is Bert, and that was it. That was kind of like the only song.
Great.
And there would be other lyrics that were accompanying it, but
DJ
I had the core idea.
I Burt my Meg today.
Sure, yeah.
I don't think you guys are
Something
giving
like
enough
that.
credit to I want to Burt you like an animal.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I want to
Burt you like an animal. You know, Lucy James. Here's what I.
She loves 9 Inch
If
Nails.
you.
Where's it gonna go?
You know what I mean?
Where's it gonna go?
I've met a
I know
few
where it's
people
going.
who are into 9 Inch Nails. Lucy James, one of them, right? But I've never met someone who just likes 9 Inch Nails. You either fucking love 9 Inch Nails or you're like, they're fine. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Their music that's on the radio.
like 'em.
Lucy
No, I
James
think
would,
I'm that.
you know that you've seen the, every time Elon Musk does something fucking stupid, which is always, and people rightfully call him out on it, right? They put up the Homer taking a bullet for a poo thing, or no, a poo taking a bullet for Homer, or
Yeah.
whatever. And they're like, weird nerds taking a thing. This is, I'm surprised Lucy hasn't burst through a wall yet to hear that I'm talking shit about 9 Inch Nails. You know what I mean? Because she's one of these people. Trent Reznor at any point is going to be like, everybody put on matching sneakers. We're going to meet the comment. And they'll all be like, let's go. You know what I mean?
They were hardcore. I'm surprised that I just haven't thought about 9 Inch Nails in a long time. But like around 7, remember when that movie came out?
Yeah.
It was like the height of 9 Inch Nails awesomeness.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
One of the few bands from Cleveland.
Really?
No, yeah.
Remember
Do
like
we consider
mashup era where like every pop song had to like be mashed up with a different song?
Yeah.
I swear to God, 9 Inch Nails just because it had that one song. I don't know what the name of it is, but
That's I want to fuck you like
Yeah, I
that.
want
That
to
shit.
fuck you like an animal. Yeah.
any rap verse fits
don't
over
know.
that.
Yeah.
So it's just like you want to hear 50 Cent, here it is. You want to hear Eminem, here it is.
Yeah, it's just every time I do a rewatch of Rick and Morty, there's like a scene where they
Dude.
play All of Hurt, which I always thought was
Johnny Cash.
them covering Johnny Cash, and it ended
The
up
other
being
way
Johnny
around.
Cash covering Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Wait,
He
fuck
just did
you.
it better.
Yeah,
Are you for reals?
yeah. That was like
The
that
Eddie
always blew me
Guerrero
away.
tribute song
Yeah.
was a cover?
But it's Johnny Cash.
But Johnny Cash.
I'm
Johnny
Johnny
Cash.
Cash.
If Johnny Cash covers your song, it's Johnny.
Oh yeah, I know
Cash
he
at that
crushed
point.
it. Well, which is why I always thought that like that song at its core, like tone and like everything about the lyrics, just reads like a depressing fucking country song, like a country folk song that maybe Trent Reznor might want to cover later on and have industrial. No, it was always like the opposite. Blew me away. I blew your mind.
Blew my mind.
Well, I like Melissa Hagler. I appreciate that even though we moved on, Nails is still the topic.
I was
in
thinking
a way.
that too. I
Kinda
do
cool.
like it. 9 Inch Nails, those are long.
I will say, I over the break
Different nails.
watched
Different nails.
almost all of Rick and Morty. I had not watched it, and I
Wow.
was like, you know what? Justin Werland, we've hung out with him twice now. I think I should probably be somewhat familiar with his work.
Sure.
So I was like, I'll just start watching a couple, and I'd watched the pilot, and it didn't really vibe with me. But the second episode literally caught me. It's the one with the dogs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
a phenomenal show.
Where
That
are
should-
my balls, Pepper? Where are my balls?
That show gets deep.
Yeah,
It reminds me a lot of BoJack, where if you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
watched BoJack, you're like, this is interesting and kind of a fun commentary, but then it goes down a rabbit hole, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Very, very meta. Very, very cool show. Very cool.
dude, I'm like probably on like my third rewatch. I'm around like season 3 because I just finished a recent rewatch, and instead of going back to like my usual Office or Parks and Rec or whatever the fuck, because I have YouTube TV and it does all of your library of shows for
Mhm.
you, I just threw Rick and Morty on again, and like, goddamn,
It's
it's
Once
just-
more around the sun.
it's so fucking funny and like creative.
It's so creative. Very, very deep. Deeper than I would have given it credit for, especially for the first few episodes. And I got to the end of, because I was watching it on Joey's mom's Hulu.
Oh,
and
sure.
yeah, and I
Is
got
there
to the end of,
anything like more infantilizing than having to text Joey and be like, what's the password for the Hulu?
No, I love it. I love it.
Like
I
I
just get
picture
such a
you
kick out
texting
of
her
it.
mom and be like, "Hey, Miss T, what's the?"
Do you think that Joey would actually give me her mother's phone number? That would
Yeah,
be
of course.
Incredible.
Of course.
But I got to the end of season 5 because that's all they have on Hulu, and I was like, shit, this is it. I can't believe there's no more. And then I Googled it, and obviously this is season 6. I was like, well, shit. I don't know how to watch that. That's a whole other app that I got to figure out. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm still old. I have cable. I could just go and find it, and then so it's on Adult Swim, which is great. So now I'm watching season 6. I'm super excited about it.
Dude, there's a recent episode that is dealing with all meta terms of storytelling and like filmmaking and everything, and like there's a superhero for every like there's a superhero called like the Twist, or there's a superhero
like the trope or whatever.
I'm
the MacGuffin it's got to be a MacGuffin, right?
Yeah, there's something along those lines for sure, but all of them have to deal with like,
is there a catalyst?
There's like a foreshadowing type
Okay.
person, but all the names are really, really fucking funny and clever. And every time they kind of introduce one and introduce what their power is and how they're affecting everything, it's fucking brilliant, dude. It's so smart and funny. I was watching it with my dad recently, and he was like, "What is this show? Like, this is like actually really, really funny."
Well, I want to hear about everybody's break,
the
but
electric-
before then, let me remind you that you go to patreon.com/kindafunny to get each and every episode of the Kinda Funny podcast ad-free. Of course, you get a bevy of bonus content, including 38 exclusive Patreon episodes over there of all sorts of different content, including Gregway, Kinda Feudy, you name it. Remember, of course, all the Patreons are under one roof now, so you go there, you get the stuff for the PS I Love You, and the Remember Blanks, the Xcast. It's all up there on patreon.com/kindafunny. But you're not on patreon.com/kindafunny. So here's a word from our sponsor. And Tim walked away.
There's a couple of them from Olive Party. Protagonic. There's Mislead. But I'm trying to think of it's Connie was I think her first name. Chad, I need your help. It's so fucking stupid. And it made me laugh out loud of how dumb all these like character kind of names are and everything like that. I'll have continuity error.
That's hilarious.
And she's like, "Oh, did you not notice that thing there? It looks like there's maybe a continuity error." She like, it's
That's
so fucking hysterical,
funny.
dude. There's
That's
and
so funny.
that whole episode is just filled with all sorts of dumb shit like that. But dude, it like, what'd you think of the snakes episode?
Hilarious.
Like,
Hilarious.
Like, and even an episode like Pickle Rick, which
Pickle Rick
became
was
such a massive meme because of how annoyed a lot of non-Rick and Morty watchers got by the audience, because Pickle Rick kind of became their hot topic moment where they got so popular.
And that's also the Szechuan sauce incident.
Is that the
was around
Szechuan sauce
time.
episode?
Yeah.
Because I'll be
It's a
honest with
different
you,
episode, same season.
Same season.
I had heard about that, and then Justin talked about it again. Obviously, it's like it was a big moment that was kind of bad. So I'm thinking like, oh shit, this is gonna be the whole episode's gonna be about this. It's like 5 minutes of the
it's
episode, he
a line.
references it one, and then
That's all it
makes
takes.
another joke
That's all
about
it
it, and that was it.
Yeah, and it's moments like that that kind of like the audience co-ops and makes really, really annoying and aggravating. So that turns a lot of the general public against Rick and Morty, and they go, "Oh, that show's fucking annoying. Look at how annoying the fan base is." But like the episode Pickle Rick, I rewatched again last time. I'm like, dude, this episode is
Pickle
so
Rick's
fucking
awesome.
funny, dude.
Pickle Rick's really funny. I actually really vibed with a lot of the really meta ones, like the Clones episode, where like, are we a clone? We don't know what the fuck's going on with that.
Mr. Macy's.
I just finished the Die Hard episode, where they're doing a Die Hard,
How they getting
which
it?
I was like, this is actually pretty fucking genius. Yeah, pretty much any Die Hard episode.
Yeah.
That's why obviously Ultimate Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man, because they have the Die Hard
I
episode.
thought you were about to say the kind of funny animated.
But
No, that's what inspired.
Inspired it.
Oh,
The
Ultimate
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's Die Hard spoof
Yeah.
inspired your spoof. I got
I was
it.
like, we could do
got
that
it.
too and take 3 years.
yeah.
I don't know if this is a typo or if I'm so far out of the world. I want you to understand. Chance Carter says, I have a Pickle Rick Dab Pike and I love her. Can anyone decipher
Dab
what that is?
pipe,
A
maybe?
dag pipe, probably.
like
for dabs.
yeah.
Weed, right?
You call weed dabs now?
No, a dab is something. It's another
Another
like,
drug?
focused drug. I don't know. I've seen people do them. They go, and then they. it's
So
like
the
totally-
only typo there was pipe, not pike, pipe.
Chance, let us know. But I
Yeah,
think
don't know
a
what
dab
Pike
pipe.
is P-I-K.
We put a head on a pike.
I do know that Pike was the name of the dude in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
And
Dabs
and
is more
Star Trek.
And-
A dab is a type of weed according to
Yeah.
Drago.
Dabbing is it's more focused on the concentrated
Yeah, it's like you're
THC.
smoking THC, and that it hits you really hard,
Okay.
really fast. Like you can only do one. I used to do shows. I did a lot of comedy shows at a weed dispensary, and people were like, "You want to do a dab?" And I was like, "No," because people were gone
Yeah.
in like a second. With
Sure.
it.
Good to know Mike handle it.
Oh fuck yeah, he can. He can handle anything.
Cool.
He can handle it.
Somebody Mike texted us and was like, "Guys, just so you know, I'm snowed in. I'm probably not gonna make it today." And he beat me here. He was here before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sends all these terrifying things. He was hitting me up too. He's like, just so you know, man, Tahoe's getting nailed. I don't know what's gonna go on. I'm like, just be safe. Don't even worry about it. Blah blah. He's like, all right. And the next day, he's like, all right, I'm getting on the road. I'm gonna go for a while in this giant line of people. If it turns out it's bad, I'm gonna just stay home. Don't even bother. He's like, I passed the pass. I'm fine. I'm like, all right, man. And then meanwhile, Jeremy Renner in some kind of accident.
Yeah, it was a snow plowing accident, right?
Do we know anything more? That's what
all I saw was
he
it
was
said
helicoptered out of the.
He's in critical but stable condition.
Yeah, because the neighbor put a tourniquet on it and stopped the bleeding.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did his arm get caught under
He
the plow?
got run over by a snowplow.
Yeah. Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's really sad. He was I was like, oh my god, I hope he's okay. But it said he was in critical. He was like in critical condition.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
I want to
So-
see.
Anytime you have to put like a tournament on to stop the bleeding is like
That's what
not
when Jen hit me up about it this morning, and then I sent back a clip, and it was traumatic injury, and she's airlift. She's like, that's never good.
yeah.
No, I mean snowplows are very, very big trucks with
Yeah.
giant fucking metal things on them that can probably cleave you. So
Yeah.
hopefully I don't know what was going on, but the article I read, it was like 2 paragraphs. I was like, oh, this is of course. It's always when you want the information that they don't editorialize for fucking 5 paragraphs. It started in the summer of 1883.
Well, it's
like,
like,
what the fuck,
yeah,
guys?
it's like, they're still not confirming what exactly happened, according to
Yeah,
this
I don't
CNN article from 47 minutes ago. The sheriff's office did not provide details on the extent of his injuries or what have may have caused the accident.
Yeah. Well, I hope
His
he's
injuries are extensive, they said.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's super scary.
It's not good, man. We can't keep,
Can't be
everyone needs to be
snow.
safe. I want a second season of that show he did with Haley Steinfeld.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Couldn't remember right now.
You're okay.
You're okay? You don't want it?
What is your problem, man?
He wants more Rick and Morty.
I don't need.
Did you see that Aqua Teen Hunger Force has a movie? We could watch that today.
No,
You want really
They have
awkward,
like 2
weird?
movies.
Do they really?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna watch one over the break, but I was like, I subject Dee to so many things.
Sure.
I don't think she needs an hour, 15-minute Aqua Teen
Meatwad,
movie.
Meatwad rolling around.
For my money, it doesn't get any more clever or funny than Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That was when I watched the first season of that. I was like, this is it. I don't have to ever watch anything funny ever again. This is perfect.
God, it's crazy that is it still making new episodes?
I don't think
I
so.
think they're just
Because I remember being in college, and watching that on TV, like when it would come on. It was
It's just so weird.
yeah.
And every time I go back, I'll
We
never.
Are the
I'll-
Moon and Nights.
that was one of those shows where I was like, this is the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen. And it was heartbreaking because everyone I would show Aqua Teen to would be like, I don't understand why you think this is hilarious.
I mean, it's a hard sell.
It's
It's
so
dude,
fucking
all of
weird.
that shit is a hard sell, and that's kind of before I really knew that like stoner culture was a thing.
Before you're taking dabs in your pike.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's stoner culture or like hardcore drug psychedelic culture.
Fucking mushroom.
Like I think stoner culture. I think people smoke a little weed every once in a while. I'm pretty sure the Aqua Teen guys are like, when do we do heroin?
Oh no,
No,
but I mean more
Aqua
for
Teen
the I
is-
mean more for the audience
Yeah,
because
Aqua
Adult
Teen's
Swim
audience is weed. It's when you get to Metalocalypse. That's when you get into like shrooms.
That's
and-
true. That's a
Don't
bridge
bring
too
up
far.
Metalocalypse in front of Nick.
Oh, God.
Get,
Oh,
it sets
God,
him off.
really?
Fucking Roxo is the best character.
Fucking
Yeah.
cocaine puff.
Oh, is
yeah,
this you guys do cocaine?
It's like I do cocaine. That's the funniest.
I just mean like Adult
know what?
Swim as
It's all
a
good.
like
As a
this is
concept.
kind of meant for like there's a lot of programming on here. Sure, we have Family Guy and American Dad and shit like that, but afterwards there's gonna be a lot of shit that is gonna be like a loose idea with
At
image
best.
with
Are
imagery.
you talking about home movies?
And the whole time I'm watching it, no, home movies is not that. I'm talking like, I mean, there's just so much shit on there. I'm like, how is this being funded? Who's making money on this? Because
Are
like,
the kids still watching Adult Swim? Is that a thing?
yeah,
Kids
Well, I
still
mean,
watching? Are they watching
Rick and Morty's
terrestrial?
on Adult Swim, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
it's like-
Family Guy and American Dad had like second lives because of Adult Swim. Like that resurgence was massive for them. Same as like Futurama and stuff like that. But for the most part, like when I'm watching anything on my YouTube TV stuff, and I always get the little, you watch the commercials, whatever. You can fast forward. Every maybe like 60 to 70% of the little interstitials that they play in between, they are always Rick and Morty based. It's like, goddamn, Rick and Morty must be funding the fuck out of Adult Swim,
yeah,
dude. Because it's also like their original programming. This isn't coming from Fox with American Dad or
Syndication stuff.
Fox
yeah.
with Family Guy and TBS with American Dad. Like this is
Yeah, the main stuff that I see
This
on
is
current,
Rick and Morty. pretty
current
much.
programming is Rick and Morty seems to be the biggest thing, and then Primal by
J.N.D.
Tartakovsky.
yeah.
Which
the
is
other
a
stuff-
show that I kind of like vibed with, but I was like, I don't really know what this is
Can't
and
keep
why.
watching it. Yeah, that was one of those I watched a couple. I was like watched one episode. I'm like, this is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I need the rest of this in my life.
Yeah.
It's like a very specific vibe.
Did y'all by any chance happen to watch This Place Rules on HBO?
No.
Mm-mm.
What's that?
What's that?
So this YouTuber named Andrew Callahan, who used to work for this place called All Gas No Breaks, he would go out to music festivals and random places and just interview people, and it's always like the weird ass funny people that he's interviewing, and then the videos started getting a lot more. They're very just man on the street type shit, and the videos started getting a lot more political leading up to the election and stuff. And suddenly he was at less like just general music festivals, and he
I
would
think I've
go,
probably seen TikToks of this where he goes to like Trump rallies.
yeah, and then he would end up
Turns
going
it on them. Yeah.
going to Trump rallies and stuff. No, not even necessarily that. Just kind of like hearing people out, hearing what they had to say. And then he started going to like BLM protests and all sorts of different like political rallies. And he just came out with this trailer called This Place Rules, or not trailer, but a documentary called This Place Rules, where it's just kind of all the events leading up to January 6th.
Yeah.
And it's him kind of interviewing a lot of people from all sorts of different spectrums and different walks of life.
I might have seen a
Politically.
TikTok of this. Does he do a whole pedophile thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was fucking awesome.
Yes, amazing. But
Not
there's also,
pedophilia, what he does.
there's also a
I feel like you need to clarify.
Pedophilia.
I don't know.
He
Did
gets
he
a
do a whole
pedophile. He
pedophile
nails this
thing?
stupid ass pedophile.
yeah, which is like a great kind of cap to that whole storyline. But one of the TikToks that I had seen kind of advertising it was him talking to a family, and this little boy right here, and it's a family with a boy and a girl about ages 8, maybe 10 years old, and
Mhm.
they are like, well, we're not in school right now. Obviously, we can't be at school because we got to wear masks, and all the pedophile lefts, they're all lizard people, and they want us to, and it's like just repeating every QAnon
Yeah.
talking point ever, and it's like horrifying. This is the father that we're watching right now of the kids talking about like he's on the 8chan boards for QAnon, being like,
Hey,
the
Alex
little
Jones.
the little the Chipotle logo, that's actually a symbol for pedophilia. Like he's that type of like, and it is like just horrifying hearing these kids kind of feeling the same
Parrot
way,
all
and just
back, yeah.
parroting it all back. Yeah, but yeah, it just came out recently. It is surprisingly not just all like I thought it was just going to be all kind of making fun of the Trump side. He goes to a lot of BLM protests as well, and kind of talks to a lot of people there. And he gets very, very real with other families who are like, there's just a good moment of the documentary where he kind of realizes, there's a lot of families that aren't well off financially that cannot afford to go to all these protests because they got to worry about themselves at home. They can't be fucking traveling cross country to million-man marches that, like, when Trump had his million-man march and was trying to, like, stop the steal and all that shit. It gets, like, kind of real in some moments, but I think it's definitely worth the watch. I know it's worth the watch when I accidentally hovered over, like, where I'm at in the doc, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's almost over. Like,
What's it called? I'm going to add it to my list.
It's called This Place Rules. And he's also he used to do this show called All Gas No Breaks, and I think that All Gas No Breaks thing, I think he kind of veered off and
He
created
got kind
his
of
own
shoved
thing.
out of, and then they tried to take it over. So now he's doing Channel 5
Yeah,
with
it's
Andrew
his-
Callahan.
Yeah, it's his own channel now called Channel 5, which is essentially the same concept. It's just I think he has full ownership of it now, as opposed to it being owned by Vice. Maybe I want to say All Gas No Breaks. I could be way off on that. I'll double check, but yeah, it's very, very good. This Place Rules. Not as serious as Into the Storm, the QAnon
Oh,
doc,
dude, that was
which was
so. That was
very,
gonna say,
very good.
There's two documentaries that I recommend along those subjects if you really want to like get more context for the events that led up to January 6th. Into the Storm, incredible. This one definitely I'll put on my list as well. But did anyone catch the Murdochs?
No. You kind of mentioned it to me, and it sounded very depressing.
It is
It's one of those that you end, and you're like, I have no hope for the future.
fucking crazy. It's a crazy documentary. I believe HBO put it out, but it's a CNN documentary. And it chronicles Rupert Murdoch, who used to own Fox News Corp. I think you were there for sure when we were owned by Fox, but
Yeah,
you were as
100%.
well. And how he kind of rose to acclaim and power through various newspapers, by figuring out that if you write slightly inflammatory headlines and have a skew on things that scares people, that they tend to buy more newspapers because of that. And that's all the events that lead up to that. Predominantly, it's about the succession that's supposed to be happening in the Murdochs, which is why a lot of people say, hey, the Murdoch family is like where the Succession writers took a lot of inspiration
100%.
from, because Rupert Murdoch is like refuses to name like an heir. And it was Lachlan for a while, and then it was the other one, and like there's the youngest daughter as well, isn't it?
Side
It's all-
note, I can't wait for Succession.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I mean, if it's anything like this documentary, I got to get back on. I gotta
Oh,
get on
you
that
got
train.
to. It's totally like that. When are we
'Cause-
doing are we doing episode breakdowns? Let's do episode breakdowns. Let's do screencasts.
It's-
Fuck you, Tim. We'll do it without you. How's that sound?
It's absolutely bonkers, but it goes through everything into the formation of Fox News, and how Fox News is basically like a couple of things that shed crazy light on it for me was, which I didn't realize at the time, was they were like, there's people don't know this, but there's two distinct divisions of Fox News. There's actually Fox News, and then there's the opinion section that everyone just thinks is Fox News, because it's actually that's where like Bill O'Reilly and Hannity and like all the hardcore personalities that we've come to know as be like the Fox News people came to acclaim. And it is just absolutely fascinating that they were like, every time that it's all sort of that look at what is the thing that sells the most, and it turns out it's like it's fear, and it's kind of fear mongering and stuff like that. And it's not to say that like that's not a commonly used thing. Obviously, like news is.
Oh yeah.
You can't put out, hey, it's raining a little outside. It has to be like, fucking everyone's dying,
No,
and yada
yeah.
yada yada, and it's across the board. But Murdoch was the first person to really like, that's a commodity, and I'm gonna figure this out. It's absolutely crazy. And then it goes right up to the point where he decides to sell everything, which you forget he did.
Did he? I didn't know he sold it.
He kept News Corp, but remember, he sold 20th Century Fox and all
Yeah.
the studios
Yeah,
that
yeah.
his heir was supposed to take over.
Yeah.
Lachlan was supposed to take over, I think, or I forget the other kid's name. And he called up Bob Iger and was like, yo, you want to buy all this stuff? And the conspiracy theories are like that he did that so Bob wouldn't run for president, so Trump could go get it. But they don't cover that. They just talk about how they angle it in more terms of like he wasn't sure his sons would be able to handle it.
Sure.
And they weren't.
So this is a documentary.
This is a 5-part documentary on HBO called The Murdochs. There's a subtitle to it too. But
Okay.
God, I love a good HBO.
They got a Madoff thing coming up. No, that's Netflix.
Ooh.
Somebody's got a Bernie Madoff thing coming up.
but it's fucking fascinating.
Okay.
It's so fascinating.
I'll add that too.
Yeah, well,
this is the HBO. Add it to your thing.
In This Place Rules, they also go deeply. They also brush on just like the 24-hour news cycle and how, like, yes, there's nonstop chaos outside, and it's the election, and everybody's going fucking buck wild. And the number 1 and 2 rated things are Tucker Carlson and Rachel Maddow, and it's like that, like the sensationalism of it all. Definitely.
But that's the thing is right, and that you look at that, they don't, and that's the one thing that I will say, to not to criticize the documentary, but they do a good job of reinforcing what the Fox News tactics use, but they don't say that like some of that was a direct rubber banding from like what CNN itself was doing, which they're doing similar things on that side of like, well, if Fox is going to do that, we have to combat that by like going farther to the left. And it's just like, you see where that polarization point starts happening and how it's being pushed. It's like, let's push it. Let's make money off of this.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel, when you're watching this, you're like, I have absolutely no power in this planet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just feel so,
I
like,
hate
I got to
that.
the end of a couple of those episodes and I was like,
Fuck.
I am a fucking ant. These people are like,
Yeah.
when you've got billions of dollars, and not only that, but you can literally call up the head of Fox News and be like, hey, this is our guy. And like, they talk about how Trump was like, they started seeding that out. Trump started appearing on Fox News as a personality.
Man, you would
right?
fucking love Succession, dude.
I know, but it's like, I mean, it's all crazy. And then they talk about the push and pull if Trump got bigger for a second, and they were like, "Fuck, we need Trump," and how like Hannity would call him and be like, "Hey, how everything good?" And like they'd strategize about all that stuff. And like, again, this is from one to because I can see the comments. It's from one news outlet's perspective, but a lot of this stuff is factually based. You can find it. It's just fucking fascinating to see what the strategy of how he did. Like how his mind worked and how he was like, let's just do this. Fucking wild.
I can't find it. You said HBO?
I think it was HBO.
Murdoch?
The Murdochs.
The murder?
I'll look it up for you. I'll find it. You host the podcast.
Talking about the Boondocks.
I mean, we're fine. Look, Airplane 2's on here. The sequel.
Oh, shit.
Sister Act 3.
Still not out.
Still not out?
No.
No way.
Andy, how was your break?
My break was good, man. Speaking of HBO stuff, not HBO related, but kind of HBO related. Nick, you
Yeah.
ever heard of a show called Andor?
I think it's one of the Star shows.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars,
Wars.
right? Wars, yeah.
You happen to watch it?
No, but I saw your incredibly viral tweet happen where you're like, Andor, not that bad. And it's like, retweet.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Tim has been knocking on my door to get me to watch Andor.
Come on, knock on
But
my
here's-
man.
door.
No, because I
No.
can't.
No.
No.
No,
Because
no,
it's
no,
one of those
no, no, no.
situations where he's like, bro, just skip seasons 1 and 2. Just go straight into season 4.
It takes 3 episodes to get good, everybody says.
No,
That's
no,
what they
no,
say.
no, no,
I
no, but
watched
here's
I
the-
watched episode 1 and I was like, I ain't got time for this. Sorry.
I disagree. Because I watched episode 1 and was
I watched the first episode.
Okay, so immediately after watching
okay.
episode 1, I thought this is already better than any other Star Wars show that they've put out. And I only because I could tell the vibe and the tone and like just having moments of dialogue that I had been missing so much in the other products that they've put out. Anytime that I would like happen to watch Kenobi, and then I would watch that night's episode of Better Call Saul, and I go, I just want like really, really, really good dialogue
Yeah.
and really good writing, and like, dude, like if there's anybody out there who's like, I'm probably not gonna watch it. I didn't really like any of the Star Wars shows. I'm right there with you. And this one I watched, and I'm so glad I did. It just felt like HBO made a Star Wars show.
That's what Tim said.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to watch it a lot more. But I mean, I have no excuse. I'll watch it. I watched.
I love how he's talking.
Yeah.
I see him
'Cause the
thinking,
thing-
like,
the
what
thing is
shit
this.
can I talk?
The thing is this, it's like it's not a shit talk thing. It's that I watched the first episode and I was like, it's fine. It's very fine to me. There's a couple criticisms I have of which is I have of a lot of those shows, which is that you can they just don't feel as well rounded. But this one is the least not well rounded of all
Sure.
the Star Wars shows as far as like production values and acting and like obviously not what's his name Diego Luna is fucking great. But you know, the 3 guys are like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, you guys are so TV actors. And then, but I guess it's good. I'll watch it.
Dude, like
I'll watch it all tonight. We'll come back tomorrow on tomorrow's podcast.
all of it. Wow.
Yeah.
You know he's crazy enough to do
Yeah,
it.
man. Like so like the thing with my dad is very much like me, where he is so these days he is so ADD, man. Like you want to talk about TikTok ruining another generation or Instagram Reels ruining another generation?
God, I hate it. Is he watch Reels?
Dude, it is like
What's wrong with Reels?
No,
What do you
well,
guys
I mean,
gotta get
both-
through?
Because it's just regurgitated TikTok like 7 months later.
Yeah.
I hear my mom over there watching.
It's
She'll come visit.
awesome.
She'll be watching Instagram Reels at full volume. Like, knock it
But
off.
the thing is, like, the problem with my dad's viewing habits remind me of like some of my best friends. Whenever you're trying to show them the thing, and he's just there, and I'm like,
No,
"Fucking
pay attention.
And so, like, my mom has been like, Mijo, I try to watch this and this show with your dad, or this and this new HBO show, whatever, White Lotus, like whatever, like the trending show is. She's like, and he just they try to watch Succession.
Yeah.
And I know he loves Succession, but every other second he's on his phone. She says,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing with like Andor hooked him, and it required a bit of me being like, oh,
Well,
that
hey,
this line of
that's kinda-
dialogue,
yeah.
check this out. But dude, holy fuck, man, there are like so many good character interaction moments that, like, when that scene ended, I went, God damn, this show's fucking good, man. And a lot of it is like the stuff that I'd kind of been wanting, like all of the inequality stuff. Like, God damn, they were
That's
good,
the
dude.
end.
They were so good.
Dude,
What a show.
the prison arc, man.
Real quick, a lot of people have said positive things about Andor, Nick, but I choose to ignore them, and I'll go with Bentley's Enigma, who says, I tried today, Andy, and I was only able to watch the first 2 episodes. Snooze fest, Nick.
He just needs one comment.
That's
There
it.
it
That's
is.
it. And that's what I was too, man. You know what I mean? Not one lightsaber, no Grogu, no Greg View is what I say. Tim.
That's what they always say.
All
I've been
right.
saying it too. Like, shit.
Got all these aliens. I got to see this guy run around looking for his sister. Come on, what am I doing?
It's just like it's the first time that I was like, man, they did a good one. They made a good one.
Sure.
Like,
This is
like,
okay. This is weird. Sorry, I'm trying. It's called the Murdochs. This is weird. Empire of Influence. It was like a 5-part docuseries. Someone said it was Low Country, which is a 3-part, but it looks like they pulled it from HBO Max, and maybe they pulled it as part of the whole Discovery, because Discovery bought pulling shit
there's
off.
a bunch of weird shit.
Mike called me the other day. He's like, dude, this fucking show.
Dude, they don't have Westworld on there anymore.
Wild.
They might have pulled it. Mike was
did.
watching. Remember that show I was talking about that was now I can't remember the name, but it was Jake Johnson and it was like feminist.
Oh yeah,
Ah.
they canceled it in the middle. They pulled it, but they're still filming the new season.
But they canceled season 2 now, so they pulled season 1. So Mike was like, I'm 5 episodes into season 1. This show's great. Get a text a day later. What the fuck happened to the show?
I saw
They
Jake
pulled
Johnson
it off.
post about it.
yeah, they're still filming it. Right, they're gonna
Jake
finish
John-
the film and try to find a new home.
He's like, we're
That's it.
trying to find a home for seasons 1
It's
and
so
2.
good. It was such a fun show and such a great like examination. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
No.
It's Jake Johnson and the actress that played Karina from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
One more time.
Karina.
Karina.
Remember
Oh, the
she's like
pink
green.
woman.
Yeah, she kills him.
Yeah.
and she's like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
no,
you."
no, no. Can't
She's a really good actress. I forgot her name, and I apologize. But she plays a feminist writer, and Jake Johnson plays a porn magazine publisher. And he goes, "I'll give you your own magazine, but it's got to be like." And she's like, "Fine, then it's going to be like naked guys." And so it's a feminist sort of like that versus misogyny, and it's really
Okay.
funny, really well written. Those two have great chemistry. The whole cast is
Minx?
great.
Is that the
Yes,
one?
Minx. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I was like, dude, I'm so looking forward to season 2. Thanks, Discovery.
You get it somewhere.
Ophelia Lovabond is the actress.
That
you're
sounds
thinking
right.
of. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Have y'all been watching Chippendales on Hulu?
Yeah.
You know, I started it, watched 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm good.
I mean, it's a vibe. It's weird. I say it's really good. It's not great, but it's really good. It's Kumail, and it's the story of the Chippendales, like the
Dancers.
the male
dance
dancer
review,
club.
yeah.
Not the rescue.
And my God, the show goes from like he is this like uprising, like you're rooting for him, and then there's the turning point that is so clear, and you're like, oh, you're the villain, and this is bad.
Oh, okay. So I'll keep watching it then.
Oh, dude, it gets really stressful and dark. Oh, there's a new episode tonight. The finale tonight, I think. Oh shit. Yeah.
I've been we watched
This
a
is a
couple
weekly
of that.
thing on.
It's weekly on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really well made. It's really interesting, and he's phenomenal in it. And
He's so good. The whole cast.
The cast is great.
fantastic. Yeah.
I fell off it a little bit because I was like, I like the going into business story. So
Yeah.
once it was up and running and successful, I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
Well,
Oh.
good job, Chippendale.
Yeah, I
See you
was like,
later.
yeah.
Nick,
Yeah.
leave.
Oh no, they do some.
I'll go
It's
back
my
to
work
it.
goes
then.
cool place.
What did you do?
I'll go back to it.
There are
then.
more than a handful of things that I think Nick Scarpino will really appreciate about that
I like
show.
to use the phrase handful.
Oh
Good
yeah.
list.
Oh, there's a lot of
My
handfuls.
balls.
There's a lot of stuff. And like the choreography and the actual like set piece like dances are so good and so stylishly shot. Like they did some damn good shit. And Kumail is absolutely incredible in it. Like I think this might be his best performance.
Yeah, I heard he was on a podcast I listened to. He was on The Business, and he was basically like, Kim Masters was like, "Why did you pick this?" And he's like, "I love doing comedy, but like I just wanted something different. I wanted to tell a real story, like flex, because it's like not a comedy at all. It is pretty pretty hardcore. Like, and I think spoilers. It follows who's the playmate that dies in like the first episode.
Well, yeah, I forget her name.
Yeah,
That-
it's not
that's
really
so
spoiler.
long ago.
Yeah, but like that. But it's gruesome. It's a dark story.
Yeah.
It's a very dark story.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him, indeed.
Yeah.
Tim, how was your break?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was the best break ever.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did nothing.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
it was so nice. I literally didn't connect my computer because I was like, if my computer's connected, I'm gonna work.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
in there.
So I just didn't until I had to. But I didn't for a long time. And my entire break was 2 weeks of just getting all back into Pokemon, man. Like
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet, all that stuff. I've been talking about it for a long time, right? Completed the Pokedex and I was all in. But then a magical turning point in my life happened where Gia has been playing Marvel Snap. She got super into
yeah,
it. She
Gia.
still plays every day. Like she's insanely just addicted to it. Then she saw me playing Pokemon and she's like, would I like that? And I was like, pause my game, put it down. I was like, well, you really like the strategy stuff. You like stories. You like this. You like that. I was like, I actually think if we give you the original Red and Blue, but Fire Red, the remake of it,
Of course.
I was like, I can see you getting into this shit. I can see this turning into a thing. I was like, no pressure. I'll get you it. We'll see if you're
Why
into
not
it or
Scarlet Violet?
That's way too complicated. That's way too much. Also, it's like I want her to have like the original experience,
Okay.
right? So I was trying to get a copy of Fire Red. Snowbike Mike gave me his old copy. He was like, I don't need it anymore. You can totally take it. I have my analog pocket, so she's playing like on a Game Boy, which is
That's
super
cool.
fun.
That's
so
really
awesome.
cool.
But I gave it to her, and she's like, I feel like I'm gonna miss something if I don't have the context of like the cartoon and stuff. And I'm like,
No.
are you telling me you want to fucking watch Pokemon from the beginning?
That's a commitment.
Oh yeah. And she was like, let's give it a shot. If I don't like it, we'll stop, whatever. We've gotten into this rhythm of watching an episode of Pokemon and a serious drama and then a comedy every night. Like that's our what we do. And sometimes we would do that cycle multiple times a day.
Neapolitan
Love
ice cream
it.
here.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
Love it.
We are almost done with the entire first run
Wow.
of him getting to the league and all that stuff. Meanwhile, she has 6 badges in this game, and she is all in. She won't stop playing.
Nice.
She's like 30 hours into this damn game. She's talking to every single person. She's trying to catch them all. And I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, I woke up one day, and like she's just next to me in bed playing, and she was like, okay, so Misty's Starmie has been destroying me. Like, she killed me like 6 times, but I have an idea. If I raise my Butterfree enough, can I use sleep powder to make it fall asleep and then use poison powder to like poison it? I'm like, yeah, you can. She's like, okay.
That's the move.
And then she fucking did it and she won it. I've never seen her happier with herself. Like, it is the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, I am like just the most proud dad of it all.
That's
but
incredible.
like her wanting to watch the shows, identifying things and being like, oh, in the game, this is the game. I'm like, this is the fucking best.
That's
You-
incredible.
Sidebar. Did you notice yourself not talking to NPCs as much as you did in old Pokemon games?
Well, it's because
Scarlet Violet?
you don't need to because their word bubbles pop up when you go buy them.
Do
That
all
really
of them do
says
that?
anything
Yeah.
interesting either.
Yeah. All
If
of
it's
them
yellow, then I
pop
know I
up.
gotta
Yellow
engage.
means it's like
I'll
you
go
can
kick the
engage with
shit
it.
out of this guy.
But it was designed that way, which is great because it's way faster.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of just like talking to the random person who's like, my fucking dad died, or like some shit. I got a fucking
Tell me
thing
about
for
it.
you. Like I
Yeah.
got a little, you know.
I
like-
lost my sister, and you know.
Yeah, like little things. I kind of miss those moments. I don't know. That's a little sidebar. It's a little sidebar.
Okay, good sidebar.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm glad you shut down over the
Shut
break.
the fuck down. man.
Because last year we did a lot last year.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we wore ourselves a little thin, and so I'm
Yeah.
glad. I went over to your house for a second, and Tim, can I tell you the story?
Oh,
Tim
go for
I
it.
had to drop some off at his house and just say what's up to him. Tim came out, Andy, in a pajama bomber jacket.
Yeah.
And he was so happy. I was like, dude, you look so good. He's like, I've been doing nothing, Nick, nothing. It's a whole lot of nothing. He's like, see this? This is a pajama bomber jacket. It's
Like a
pajamas.
MeUndies?
It's not MeUndies, but it's chalk line, just like
Yeah.
bomber jackets. But like I literally have it just to sleep in.
Yeah.
Like
That's
just to be like my
awesome.
pajama wear around the
Oh,
house.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's a bomber jacket. I'm like, I'm just.
So it's not pajama material. It's just been.
But it's. I mean, it pretty much is like.
So is
the-
it like the
lightweight.
Letterman jackets we used to sell? The kind of funny Letterman jacket? kinda?
No, but it's nylon. It's like
Okay.
it's like I don't know if nylon's the right word, but it's like it's more silky than
Okay,
anything.
okay.
Satiny.
It looked comfortable as fuck.
It's comfortable as fuck.
It looked like I was like, dude, I'm so happy for you that you're just like in your home, warm, hanging out, just
Yeah.
decompressing for a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
dude, it's
Because you
best.
deserve it, man.
And there's nothing like the cycle though, where we'll watch fucking Pokemon. What adventures
are
is
you
Ash
kidding me?
Pikachu getting into right now? And like, oh, when I tell you, I cry at every moment you'd expect me to cry. I cry so fucking hard. Bye bye Butterfree, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm crying before he's even almost gone, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I know what's coming." But yeah, that's so funny. But then
Does this show hold up? Is it like an entertaining story?
Yes, it definitely for what it is, and especially the earlier episodes, like there's such a nostalgia to it, and the art style, the backgrounds are beautifully hand drawn. Like there's a lot of actually good stuff there. It's a kid show at the end of the day still, but like it's way better and it holds up way more than I would have ever expected it to. But going from that to one of the other things we've been watching is the entire Netflix Marvel series, which I missed out on.
Wow, really?
You're talking about like
Because
Daredevil,
Daredevil,
Jessica Jones,
dude,
and all that.
Jessica Jones season 1 is fucking cool.
so good.
So with all of this, it's like
Come on.
it's weird that Tim Geddes hasn't seen these fucking shows, but Daredevil season 1 dropped when Gia was going to grad school. And so it was one of those things we watched one episode together. We're like, oh, we'll watch them later. Next thing you know, we're 3 seasons of Daredevil in, and we never watched it. And I heard a lot of mixed things, way too many episodes, all this shit. So I was like, one day we'll do it. But now she's been pushing it. She's like, let's just commit 1 episode a night. We'll just get it done. Watch all of season 1 of Daredevil. Watch all season 1 of Jessica Jones. We're now halfway through season 2 of Daredevil. And like every single thing ever said about those shows is so true.
So true.
There's just so
What's good
much.
is so
what's
good.
What's good is
And then there's just so much
and then
stuff
there's
you're
just
like, wow.
everything else.
Like if I'm not mistaken, there's a Daredevil season where like
Don't
half
spoil
the
anything.
season. Oh, how far are you in?
half of season 2.
Don't worry about it then. I think it is actually season 2 where you're like,
where he gets his sight back.
and it's like, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. No, but Jessica Jones season 1 was one of those. Once I finished that, I was like, wow, this is. I mean, because it's intense.
They call me
So good.
They call me Truth Angel. Truth is there.
And then have you started?
Damn, Andy, that was horrible.
Did you watch? And sorry, where are you at with Punisher?
Well, so Punisher was introduced. I'm in the thick of that, and I'm loving that stuff. It's
Did
so
you get to the
good.
point where he got? Is it a little spoiler?
Where he loses his sight.
And he becomes a lawyer. It's crazy. No,
He's in the hospital right now.
okay. There's a great moment, and I think it was in the trailer, so I don't want to spoil. It'll get a little spoiler, but there's a great moment where it's a great scene between him and Charlie Cox, or John Bernthal and Charlie Cox, where he calls him. He was like, "You're a fucking half measure." To Daredevil, and it's the coolest line.
I think that was on the rooftop scene.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
So
Yeah.
cool. I was like, wow, this is special. And John Bernthal,
Kills it.
That
John
dude,
fucking
man.
Bernthal, man.
he,
So good.
I would like to say like give him a shot, but everything he's in, he just kills. And I honestly like, I don't want him.
Let me ask you something, Rick.
I don't want him to be a mega Hollywood star because then I don't think he'll get these incredible. He's a character actor.
Sure.
And so like going from like The Punisher to American Gigolo to that insane Boston cop show that he was on with
The one that Chris Anka loved.
yeah, which was like he just plays this like really complex shitbag cop.
Washington
that's-
D.C.
On HBO.
Was it Washington?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
watching
was
that show right now. Actually,
Sorry.
and his
Um,
accent's hilarious.
Remember when
hilarious.
he was in 30 Seconds of the Bear and he stole the
Yep.
entire
Yeah,
He's so good.
And it's
of the
like,
bear.
and that's
He's
what they're
so
so great
good.
at. They build up to the brother and the bear, and then it's just John Bernthal. Wind River, same thing. A great fucking movie overall, and then all of a sudden they cut to this scene. I'm like, John
Oh my
Bernthal's
God,
the guy.
I know.
Dude,
I knew it's the
I'm
guy.
gonna say something that like I'm gonna need some help from the chat or from you guys to help
He was
me
in The
get
Walking
here.
Dead.
But yes, he was.
That's what he
yes,
started.
he was. There was a show that came out last year, I want to say, that was like Black Mirror, Twilight Zone-esque, that was written and produced and hosted by the dude from The Office. The
Ricky Gervais.
no,
American
the
Office.
Mindy Kaling's
Okay,
friend in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking.
BJ Novak.
BJ Novak.
That was a
yes.
movie.
He put out a TV show that was like 8 episodes. It
Yeah.
was like Black Mirror, whatever.
It was like an
every episode.
AMC show, I think.
I don't know what it was on. It was on. I watched it on Hulu, and the show was so fucking good.
Ah, man, this sounds like up my alley. I've never heard of
It's
it.
called The Premise.
The premise,
Yeah.
and he'll come out as like the host and be like, "So here's the premise," and like they explain whatever it is, and then you just get an episode about it. And I would say more than less of the episodes are fantastic. Some of them are pretty good. I don't think there were any bad ones, but the best episode is with John Bernthal, and it has to do with like gun safety, and it's a 10 out of 10, impeccable TV, and like if anything, everyone needs to watch this one episode.
Do you remember which one it is?
It's the one with John
With John
Bernthal.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
I don't
Called-
know.
I've got it
I'm-
up here.
I'm looking
Greg.
at the
It's
list of
Moment
things.
of Silence.
Moment of silence.
No,
Safety
episode
featuring
2. Episode 2. Okay.
One of the most like, damn, that was art, and y'all fucking nailed the message, nailed what you're doing. Like, it is gonna stress you the fuck out.
There's
but
one episode called Butt Plug. Is that a
Dude.
good one, Tim?
that one's. I think it's episode 1. That's so.
I hope
You-
I still
you
have
never watched
Joey's
Black
mom's
Mirror, huh?
Hulu information.
I've watched random episodes.
I
here.
hope
I've watched
I
all the
hope you
episodes
didn't
you've
do that.
recommended me,
Thank you.
I have it.
and they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Bear's
Yeah.
great.
Bear was great.
Be honest with me. Have I ever recommended anything bad? I mean, come on. Like, we're,
Yes.
Andy's record pretty goddamn
I'm-
good.
I'm-
I'll
I'm
be
You
real.
guys
like-
have very good,
betting like
similar
950.
sensibilities.
Yeah.
The
Which,
thing-
by the way, something that obviously you didn't vibe with. I went back home, and when I was back home, my friend
He doesn't vibe
my,
with back home.
My friend CP loves
3 p.m.
handing me the remote and being like,
Show me
"Show me
something.
some shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "You watched the rehearsal yet?" And he said, "No." I said, "Remember Nathan for you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Let me show you a little
Strap
something."
in.
And then he loved it, obviously. And then I get a text from him last night, and he was like, "I'm showing my girlfriend the rehearsal. We are fucking dying at the it's days like these that I curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder. Like god damn, what a talk about like favorites of 2022. That is one of the favorite things that I experienced in 2022. That
Greg,
and Avatar.
like, have you guys ever given it a shot?
Yeah, Jen can't fuck with him because like she doesn't like seeing people get pranked or whatever.
Yeah,
and I
that's
know
kinda my
that this
thing,
one's
too.
not fully that, but like that's what Nathan for You was.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like we started the rehearsal, and the first episode, the other apartment, and she was like, "Nah." I'm like, "All right, cool."
I
Bounce
feel
that.
like you would love it.
it
though,
sounds like something
because
I would
you
love.
like
the most
great
Greg.
stuff.
Nate, are you him? Like, I'm a little concerned in some ways.
Avatar, I saw it again, by the way. So it took my whole family. I spent $160, $160 on IMAX tickets for my 3 nieces and nephews, my brother, my sister-in-law, my mom, my dad, and we all went to go watch IMAX, and we got it in the. Well. Here's the thing. I'm always very, very, kind of worried about movie theaters back home. I never.
Are
know.
they gonna have enough pickles?
Exactly. And luckily, we did have
Plenty.
pickles aplenty. Pickles aplenty.
That's a plenty.
But I had bought tickets for the theater kind of closest to us, which is the it's like the Cinemark's version of a bistro type.
Okay.
Yeah, like an Alamo. And then I remembered, or somebody said, "Oh, what about IMAX? Did you watch it on IMAX?" And I said, "Well, I don't really think there's IMAX." They're like, "No. The AMC bought the theater it was called Carmike Theater in Edinburgh." I was like, "Oh shit, word?" And then I looked and I was like, "Oh, it's like true IMAX shit." Sold all those tickets back, refunded all those on the Fandango app, bought them all on IMAX, and goddamn, the homie Rudio hit me up this morning. He was like, "What did you prefer, Dolby or IMAX?" I can't really pick, man.
Oh no,
like
Dolby, bro.
Dude, like the full res IMAX, like the full aspect ratio, getting the top to bottom.
Yeah.
God damn, man. I mean, again, it was just like such an experience. And all of my mom was like, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced." The kids were just like freaking the fuck out. That final act is the dopest shit of all time, dude.
And fucking Cameron did it again, right? Because remember we went in and be like,
Your boy Cameron.
It's got to make like $5 billion, and I was like, in my brain, I'm like, there's no way. And now it's like dominating the box office, making hella money, right?
By this afternoon, it's gonna beat Top Gun Maverick to be the number 10 of all time.
And how much is this movie going to affect 3D movies going forward? Because we're in that trailer. Because when we watched Avatar, we didn't get previews, right?
We saw
was a screening,
of it, right? No. Yeah, we saw screenings. We didn't get previews.
Yeah, I don't
It
remember
just
getting.
started.
I don't
think you and I,
remember getting
yeah,
previews.
yeah.
So for
And
this
then
one,
Joey and Kevin gave a shit because we didn't save them seats, even though we saved them seats.
we did save them seats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I get
bullshit.
the trailers here for Ant-Man: Quantumania in 3D, right? And I was like,
hate the 3D.
God damn, like, I bet you every movie for the next like 3 years is gonna ride the wave of, hey, Avatar was great in 3D.
Well, I'm fine with
Check
it if
this
it's
shit out.
Ant-Man and Quantumania. That actually sounds like it's fun. But
I'll say this: the trailer
even
in
see a
3D
rock
looked
movie in
pretty
3D.
sick. But granted, like I think when Avatar came out back in the day, and then a bunch of 3D movies tried to follow up on that success, they all looked like shit.
Well, I mean, like, I know
Because they weren't real 3D. Like,
they have to be shot in 3D. And
Yeah.
Ant-Man's not. Like Marvel movies, everyone releases in 3D. They
yeah.
don't look great.
what's the process? And when it's not
No
shot,
way.
it's like not stereoscopic, but like when they go back and they have to recut.
Well, it's
like,
just post
post stuff,
conversion
yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when we're going to watch the Star Wars prequels, when they
Yeah.
all didn't even release in 3D, but they were trying
Yeah,
to.
they just did Phantom
Phantom
Menace.
Menace.
and
I
then
saw
they-
that shit.
And then they got bought by.
Yeah, I saw it
Disney.
too. Me and Kevin went
Yeah,
to
same.
the midnight release. Like,
Yeah.
And that was back when it was actually midnight.
Me and
I don't
my
know why
roommate.
we fucking did that. We regret the
'Cause
pod
you're
racing was
dorks.
incredible. But like, God, it was like, why? And then they didn't even do 2 and 3. They're like,
Yeah.
What
But
theater-
Titanic in 3D, y'all motherfuckers. Oh, they're re-releasing it again next year. We're going.
You know what? I'm kind of down.
Are they doing 40? Because that'd be one to see in 40.
Well, so here's the thing. I saw Avatar in 4D. Do not recommend that
Yeah.
at all.
What
It,
happened?
It's not
it
fun.
ruined the experience.
They
Moving was
speed
great.
blue
The
on
3D looked like shit. The sound was bad. Like, no.
Oh, really? The 3D looked like shit.
Yeah.
I would just expect that to be kind of standard across the board. What made it different was
There's
the
so much
glasses,
nerd
the-
shit with this where it's like, is it real 4K? Is it 2K? Is it high frame rate? Is it 3D? Like, all that shit needs to play nicely, and Dolby's the only way.
I still saw variable refresh rate, right? So we're
Which meant yours was in 2K, not 4K.
oh, okay. So we're
yeah.
getting all the different high speed shit. Dude, my family did not notice a difference.
Well, it's
like-
hard. It's hard to. I mean,
Does that
unless
surprise
you're
you?
really looking for it, it's hard
like
to notice
I
the
would
difference.
expect them to be like, why were some scenes kind of like
Think about it,
fast
and
looking?
I
Yeah.
assume it's the same for you, but maybe not. But think of the times you go to a family member's house and they have true motion on.
Yeah, but like
This is so, like,
no, but that's
intense.
but
Yeah.
that's
looking.
true motion 24/7 of their lifetimes that they're experiencing this, and then they see but I'm talking like in the middle of a 3-hour experience, you're getting true motion, non true motion. Like, and I expected them to kind of notice that, and they're like,
But
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
different because most of the characters are CG.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like if it's a
weird
live action
experience.
person and it goes from looking like a movie to looking like a soap opera shot on video, it might be a little different. But I mean, it is true. Most people just don't see it. They
Yeah,
don't
it's just
understand
weird to me that they didn't even know what I was talking about. And I had to explain to them, like, you didn't notice how some of the scenes look like super smooth.
But
and
I also think
fast?
that I also think that 3D kind of makes it look different to begin with. So when you're looking at something 3D, it doesn't look like a 24p movie to begin with. It looks a little crisper and a little different frame rate anyway. So I could see that, because there were moments where I was sitting next to you, like, dude, that's cool, and I'm like, oh, he's talking about the frame rate issue, and I fucking am super sensitive to it, to the point where I have an Apple TV, like a 4K, sitting on my desk because I'm not sure if I want to install it, because I think my TV fixed itself, but I'm not sure, and I won't sell it back. I'm keeping it just in case my TV decides to do that.
What TV do you have?
I have an LG C.
You have the OLED C1? Or
What was the first generation of that?
the CX was one before
There
the
was one
C1.
before that, but you have the X though. Yeah.
I have the X, and it did a weird thing for a very long time with Dolby, where if something was Dolby Vision, it would do a weird frame mix with 120 hertz, where just the motion looks true motion. So if we were sitting there talking to each other, you'd be like, it's okay, but his mouth would look like it's a little too crisp.
Okay.
And then I think they pushed a couple updates and it fixed that, because now I'm getting true dead on like 24p. It's very crisp, but it looks like it's supposed to look. Very weird. But Tim told me just to always have
the Apple
an Apple
TV.
TV in your back pocket, just to have it.
You say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plug that shit in. Use that shit, dude. Paris knows what's up. Paris Lily this weekend tweeted like trying to figure out my smart home thing. Just got the Apple TV, and I'm like, let's go, doing it right.
I will do it one day, but the TV has to screw me again. 'Cause
Yeah.
Right now the TV's behaving and she's great and I love her.
And it's because the TV sees the threat of the Apple TV.
I keep it. Like here's the thing: when it starts misbehaving, I move the Apple TV just a little closer.
Sure.
Just a little
Fair enough,
closer.
fair
right?
enough,
And
yeah.
she gets better. And then it's like, all right, and then back it
pull
off. a
back.
little
Yeah,
bit, you know?
exactly.
Carrot and stick.
You got it. You know what I mean?
I was talking to Tim about this, but my parents in their living room, they had this gigantic like wooden furniture set that surrounded the TV, to the point where it's like,
Oh, like a cabinet that it was in?
yeah,
I
like
hate
there's
those.
these two gigantic cabinets
Bookshelves
that
or something?
house the two main speakers, and then there was like a wooden thing you'd place on top, and then they'd had like a little floral bullshit or whatever above it, and they got rid of all of it. And then I got a text from my dad recently where it is this new sort of furniture thing that the TV's just sitting on top of, not surrounded by all this shit.
Yeah, you get big.
And he was like, "Man, the wall's looking real empty. It looked nice to get a little 77-inch up there instead of this 65 or whatever." And when I tell you the bonding moment that we had, because the way the house is situated is it's a living room, and then there's like windows on the left side, because the den used to be the outside, and the people who owned the house before my parents closed in the den, so now it's like a
You meant like
separate
an
kind of like
addition.
it's a second living room, I guess, you know.
Sure.
But separating it is like windows, like it's similar to how you would just be looking outside, right? And that's where like usually the kids are whenever we're in the living room. So it's basically just two rooms like mirrored,
Separated
right?
by glass.
Yeah. And my brother was like, I want to get him a sound bar for that room, because every time like the kids want to play games, my dad wants to put on the stereo for them. And my dad is super old school with all his tech, and he has like two old receivers. He has like an Onkyo receiver and some other receiver, and that receiver in the other room, he's just dealing with all the cables, and it's really, really frustrating. Let's get a sound bar, simplify that. And then we started having an issue with the optical cables not working.
Sure.
And then my dad wanted to do a lot of testing, right? And my mom gets like real frustrated because there's all this shit, like all these wires are everywhere. And he was like, I don't know why this receiver isn't working over here. Why is it the optical cable? We got to go behind. So like we spent like an hour trying to figure out, is it the cable? Is it the receiver? Let's test this cable on different receivers. We went through all of the fucking scientific method on this shit. And we finally figured out it is this specific cable. It is not either of these receivers. Thank God. And then he just like put his arm around me and he hugged me. He was like, that's why I fucking love having you here.
Awesome.
It was
Love
like it was such a dad-son moment. If he was like, God damn, I love you, man. He's like, I wouldn't have done any of this if you weren't here, because I would have gotten too frustrated.
Yeah.
And even though I know jack shit about sound receivers, like the whole time we're like, is it DTS or is it DVD in? Is it like, I'm sure Tim knows
There's
all
so
the
much
issues I'm
shit.
talking about, and he's dealing with universal remotes that are super old, and they don't have it's a ton of bullshit. And he was just so happy to figure out that oh God, thank God it is this thing. And my mom, who recently had a surgery, has like this hook that like
Oh, for grabbing things?
for grabbing things, and then I was like, Dad, snake the cable in the back. I'll use the hook to grab the cable. And like we were
Teamwork,
well
baby.
machine, man.
You're locked in.
It was like such a funny moment. And we were like, but if we fuck up that TV, we put the 65 over there, and then
Yeah,
we get it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a cycle at the house.
Oh,
Like
yeah, of
whenever
course.
this TV gets done, that gets moved to the den.
Sure.
The other one goes to like some old family friends of ours or whatever, and we put the new one in there. But yeah, we started looking at 77 inches already.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're looking to move over there, and I'm also looking to upgrade. I'm sure you've seen the way my TV is kind of situated behind me. It's like kind of facing the wall. I want to put it above my desk because Standy Andy is kind of no more, right? We're not working from home anymore.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I don't really stand at my desk anymore. When I stream, I just kind of sit down because whatever, it's 2 hours, 3 hours. I want to put a TV above my desk and have that like. I want to get an OLED finally.
Dude, talk to me, baby. Let's go.
I want
And
to
I
get an
will
OLED.
say, Andy, we might need to bring Kevin over for that. Because I remember when
I was
we
just gonna
first-
hire like Best Buy Geek Squad installation or whatever.
yeah,
Geek
it's
Squad
just
knows
like
my room
our
well. They've been there like
walls-
7 times.
Yeah, our walls are really weird because I remember we had to do something specific when we first moved in. If you remember, I had our TV on a wall mount, and then after that, we just took it off and I just have it on stands.
You guys probably have lath and plaster, which is like you have to mount it a certain way for that.
And you have to get to specific places, like even if
You
we're
have to
just trying
find
to
studs,
hang
yeah.
frames, you know, like
Yeah.
it's like
because the lath. If you ever look at those
Yeah.
walls, like there's little tiny slats.
I got a bunch
that
of
go.
push pins. It should
Yeah.
be good.
I always default to like if I can. I know everyone likes to mount shit. If I can, I just put the thing on a thing because then I can move it wherever I want. I can get behind it.
Mountains.
Never-
Oh, I've always been.
Hate
I've
mounting.
always kind of been against mounting because I'm so afraid of commitment in that way. In the
Hate
same
it.
way, why I hate dealing with like I hate committing to cable management because of like
Don't get it, Andy. It's the best thing in the world.
because
I
I'm
hate
so
cable.
worried about like the length of the cables and like what if I want to move that later? Like
Dude,
I'm never going to, but that's always in my
let me
mind of
help
like
you. I
dude,
got it down.
my room
All
is
of this.
such a fucking mess, dude. It is so gross underneath my desk.
I want to show you this text I sent Snowbike Mike during Thanksgiving vacation. I walked into a Target and they had all these TVs out there, and I'm look at the price tags on these: $3.99, $4.99,
Oh my
$4.
god.
And I sent him the photo. I just go, remember when those morons wanted you to spend $7,000 for a TV? And Mike responds, they just don't get it.
No, we don't get it apparently.
You
But
don't
like
get
the
it.
thing is, he will like,
He'll
oh
still
my
do it,
god,
yeah.
he will just spend the most money on the dumbest shit. But for a TV, he's like, I want the 70-inch TV for $700. It's like, why is this suddenly where you're stopping? Where you're like worrying about how much you're spending? Oh
Dude,
my god.
for Christmas we went to Gia's sister's house for like they like did a little get together thing, and my brother ended up showing up, which was like a fun treat, a little cool Greg appearance. And we get in, everything was good. But we walk into the living room and they had like it must have been a 32-inch TV or something, and it was so sad, just like sitting on the little
So has a
console.
VHS player in it.
and like just this giant empty wall behind them. And my brother just straight up goes like, "Is Tim fucking okay with this shit? Like, are you serious? Like, how is this not?" And I was just like, "Oh my god!"
So
And like he
funny.
started going so hard, and Gia's sister was just like, "No, we know, we're trying to figure it out." My brother's like, "I don't know what the fuck's happening here, man." Like,
That's so
which
funny.
I just I love him. I respect it so much. He knows.
I need there to be like a like an MTV Crib / Pimp My Ride thing where like I just imagine whenever they would cut to Ish on Pimp My Ride and he'd be like, so what we're going to do today, we're going to install a couple speakers here in the back, but I want like Cool Greg to be like nah man, this screen is way too fucking small. Like your shit looks stupid.
My mom got a call from one of her best friends, and you know, like my parents are the generation where they grew up with people that are their best friends for like fucking 40 years, right? She got a call. She goes, we got to talk about your husband. And my mom's like, what happened? She goes, so her husband invited my dad over to take a look at his little room that he watches TV in, and it had one of those like built-in cabinet things. And my dad is very much the kind of guy that's like, oh, we can pull that thing out real
Oh,
quick. This, pull it back."
no.
Gutted the whole. It ended up being like a week-long thing. My brother got called to come in and help out. My brother was like, what the fuck did you do? Because he was like, my dad's like, I think we can get like a 77 in there, and they had like a 42. I mean, it was like maxing out the thing. It was one of those things where it was like, well, you put it on, but it's sticking out a little bit
Yeah.
from the things, and you're like, that does not look good in there at all. She was so pissed. She was so mad at my dad, but his friend was really happy with it, so it worked out okay in the end. But it's like a room that's like, it's like a den. It's not even very big. Fucking baller. Why not?
Fuck yeah.
I mentioned to Jen the other day, I was just like, yeah, you know, like I've seen Kevin hang drywall. Like it can't be that hard. If me and him wanted to spend a week, she's like, no, under no circumstances are you people ever hanging drywall in here. It'll be a process that limps on for months. You and him,
You can't
chipping
do
away
it.
at doing this stupid shit.
It would be one of
Yeah.
those where you had to post on a website, similar to how like when Bear tells me the how construction is going on all these streets we travel. He's like, oh, it's not gonna be ready until 2024. Like, you would have to post on that to like update Jen. On
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. See
By the
what
way,
we're
how's
doing.
the puppy?
He's great. Yeah, Cole's
I met him. He's-
fantastic.
he's-
Yeah.
He's cute.
Nick came over and hang out for a little bit, and he just slept on Nick's lap the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, this is the experience that I look forward to when I go to the Miller household. Either somebody hands me a baby or somebody hands me a puppy
Yeah.
that I get to hang out with for a little bit. And I had Cole, and it was a little later. Cole was like, "You're disrupting my sleepy time,"
Yeah.
and that was fine. And then I put him down. And he went right to mom, and then I left. It was nice. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's doing real well. I'm blown away on a bunch of different fronts. You know, obviously coming after the hard mode of having Benjamin, right? I was like, still like, all right, well, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. You know, Jen's never had a puppy before, and I haven't had a puppy in 17 years, right? And so it was this really crazy wake up of like, oh, like not nearly as hard as baby Benjamin, and also not nearly as hard as old man Porty. Of like, you know, when
Yeah.
Porty was like so much and made of glass and all this stuff of carrying him around and having to give him a million pills all day long and like be so gentle and so careful. Like, oh, right. Like, the great example is, you know, our nanny has a dog. She has this big dog named Fred. He's like, he's a mutt, but he's like a sheepdog, right? So he's all energy. He's super excited. He's 2 years old. And like when he originally showed up, you know, last year, Porty was still around. And so it was this thing of like, we introduced them, but then Fred wanted to play, and Porty obviously could not play at all in any stretch of the imagination. So we kept them separated the entire time. And so bringing Cole into the equation, I was still very
Porty
much
was like a third down rusher. Like you only put him in on third down to rush.
yeah.
Back up.
Bringing Cole in, I was very much like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to keep them separated, and obviously I don't want like, you know, him roughhousing. And I forgot totally of like what a puppy's like.
You
where
roughhouse?
yeah, you want to roughhouse? Cole like chases Fred around. She chases him, and they play real hard, and they love each other, and they're like super great together. And Cole's great with Benjamin, and you know, Cole, very impressive. I feel of like, you know, I prep Jen of like, you know, middle of the night, we'll put him in. He'll need to get up. He'll need to go outside. All this other stuff. Dog doesn't need to. Dog sleeps all night he sleeps in the bed now with us already. Like I was prepared to wait months for that, but now he's in there and he doesn't wake us up. And the one time he did during these insane SF rains we've had, he went out, he did his business, came back in, wanted to play. I put him back in the bed. I'm like, it's 5 a.m, and he was like, all right. And he went back to bed. I was like, this is fucking insane. Like
Greg's been sending me pictures of Ben and Cole, just like their friendship forming, and it is the fucking best and
Cutest thing
funniest
That's
thing.
what I'm saying.
ever.
Where's the monkey? Get the monkey.
Get the goddamn monkey.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, now every morning we wake up Benny, or well, Ben wakes up and then we're awake, right? But like his door's closed, so when we come in there, we usually sing songs and come in there like in a conga line. And so it's me and Jen forever stomping in to say hello to him. But now we have Cole too, so we come in and then like I put Cole over into the crib, and Ben gets down and hugs Cole, and it's like this adorable little thing. And then one of them chases each other through the other room, and that's the end of that.
Oh yeah, I showed like all of my family the video of Ben first seeing Cole.
Oh yeah. So we did a video. We did like your response was great of like put it on TikTok. Yeah, we
Get the
did.
monkey.
We did a
Fucking
we did a
monkey.
thing where when I brought him home, Jen took Ben down to the park, and so I came in and Jen had wrapped a box with a lid you could take off of it, and so put Cole in that, put the lid on when they were coming up, and then Ben came in and opened it, and like his face just lights up because this kid loves dogs, and I'm sure all kids love dogs, but he loves. I mean, I don't have any experiences with other kids, but like my son loves dogs in a way none of our friends' babies love dogs, so it's like he's very.
You have to
very
imagine though, from a child's perspective.
Yeah.
It's like having a life-size Andy to play with.
sure.
You know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
same size.
Same size ears.
Yeah, perfect
Perspective,
ears, yeah.
proportions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rules and all the same.
That
Yeah.
thing's ears, man.
He's got big
got
old
the- got
ears.
big old ears,
He's
big old
got big old paws. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, but it's crazy to have a puppy that is just like all fumbling and all loose and they're cuddling. Great job with the B-roll here, Ben. That was early on in them getting together. It's gotten way worse now. And then it's been fun to see Cole come into his own at the house, obviously, because it's like a shock, obviously, to go from your family and your mom and your brothers and sisters and then just be in a random house with all of us. But he's been doing great at it. And like, yeah, he's super well trained already in terms of potty training and stuff like that. It's funny. I said that Joey asked me this morning of how I'm like, oh, it's super well trained potty training. It's like, he still has accidents here and there, but you know, like for the majority gets it. And then like I went and did a Greg way and I came out and checked my phone and it was Jen like, so we went for a walk for 2 hours and he pooped in the cage and he ate it and now he's diarrhea in your hat. I'm like, okay, well, I'll shut down this. Sorry, you're having a rough day back. I will get home as soon as I can. But no, Andy, it's been great. No, he's been awesome, and it's been, you know, cool to see him and Ben, and like Ben's saying words now. Ben's walking now.
Wild.
That's insane. You know what I mean? That's been it's been insane. Yeah.
When are you gonna bring Cole over here?
I don't know, whenever. When the mood strikes, as they say. We were talking about maybe next week or even this week later in just having Jen she's still off this week. So maybe a field trip where she comes on over and hangs out with everybody and says, hey, yeah. We got to hang out last night with Gary Witta and his kids, but like his, you know, whatever. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, I went over and it was fun because you guys had just put Ben down and you're talking about saying words and he was like asleep for a little bit. And I was like, I'm just gonna be very quiet. And from I can hear out of my ear. Little quiet. Is that Uncle Nick? Uncle Nick here?
It didn't happen. This didn't
What's up,
happen.
Nick?
And I was like,
Nick.
I was like, Ben, you gotta go to bed. He's like, cool, Uncle Nick. So cool.
He didn't say anything.
You're so cool.
He's so cool. Is what he said. I don't know. It was like a baby
the
gibberish
room
thing,
felt
but
cooler.
I heard like a cool like this like vibe on vibe. Cool.
I believe that. I
Yeah.
believe 100%.
Yeah. I heard that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table.
So far.
Each coming to talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. If you want to talk and listen to us talk, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny. Of course, on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get each and every episode of the show ad-free. You could get 38 exclusive episodes of bonus content. You could be watching live like Murders with Mertens, a horror film podcast. Cody Hagler and Matthew Hidalgo all are. Of course, thank you so much for your support on patreon.com/kindafunny. We couldn't do this without you. Remember, of course, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can get each and every episode of the Kind of Funny podcast for free with ads over on youtube.com/kindafunny. And of course, podcast services around the globe each and every week. Remember, 2 huge weeks to start 2023 for us. Of course, we are celebrating 8 years of Kinda Funny this Friday on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames and youtube.com/kindafunnygames. And of course, we are crowning our game of the year for 2022 on Monday live. Everyone in person in the studio, youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. And eventually, of course, on the Gamescast podcast feed.
Yeah. And a quick thing about that, I don't know if we said this at the top, but we're doing the special live version where it's live for everybody in place of Games Daily.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. Next Monday, it'll be at 10 a.m. live for everyone to be able to watch and have fun.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.